Derek to Bundy and now to Blanche, which is he's saying, I need to make sure that you can tell me that the DOJ will be independent of the president.
That's why I said though. I do have to make one more point. This is a man who said that his administration and he are at war with the judiciary. That's a terrible thing to have said. Nobody should be at war with the judiciary. There are three co-equal branches of government, as we know. He also has called judges rogue. He's also criticized their opinions in a way that's not appropriate. So, and he and his people have been disrespectful and lied to the court, such that there's no longer a presumption of regularity, which means that judges no longer believe DOJ lawyers. 16,000 people have left the DOJ since this man got here because they worked on cases that the president thinks were wrongly brought against him. So they were just summarily fired.
Let me just play another interaction. He was asked about his comments about the January 6th pardons by a senator, and I'm going to play what he said in the hearing today and what he actually said in an appearance that was being questioned about. Listen.
And you bragged that bringing justice for violent rioters meant that every one of them was either pardoned or had their sentence commuted. Almost everything the senator just said, and he's protected, he's allowed to lie, but almost everything he just said was absolutely false.
Welcome to Clown World!
If you look at what happened to the men and women convicted because of January 6th, by 5 p.m. on January 20th, every one of them was either pardoned or had their sentence commuted, okay? So when folks say you've done nothing, I say you have a very short memory.
I don't know. I mean, it does very much sound there that he's defending the decision to pardon these rioters.
That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, he tried to thread the needle today by saying that, that it was right to prosecute them, but also not condemning Trump's decision to pardon them. So how do you have it both ways? Either they did something that was horrible and they needed to be prosecuted and therefore punished for it, and also say, well, the president has the absolute right whenever he wants to do it, and I'm not going to comment on that.
Well, but he did say, he gets some votes. He did say, and we'll look into the way the pardon power is exercised. So he kind of threw a bone, I thought.
That's a the same thing, because there is nothing you can do about his pardon power.
I said he was throwing a bone and trying to get those last votes.
Yeah, all right. Judge Shendlin, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you. Next for us, after MAGA backlash, the president says the...
Any comments, y'all?
Yeah, it's all spin. They're just like all downstream from Trump, and it's all spin, and it's brain rot, and the fact that they have to sit there and try to inverse everything is pathetic. They can't praise or give any accolades or be on Team America. They are the biggest group of complainers and socialist, Democrat, progressive, pluralist, communists. It's sickening. It's anti-American, but it's politically correct. That's all you guys do is create an echo chamber and stir the pot and just piss in it and shit in it and create division and friction and cheer assassination like Charlie Kirk. Your room is disgusting. And the fact that you work for a colonel in the army and you here 40 hours a week creating hate and propaganda, shame on you, Dr. Patty and First Lady, and especially Ban. Ban is a pathetic, progressive, pluralist.
Go take your meds.
That's projection alert. That's projection alert. I'm just trying to say that, as I claimed, it's all spin, it's all bullshit, all the time. God bless Donald Trump. I'm on Team America. Fuck you, liberal, progressive, Democrat, pluralist liars. You're just a bunch of thieves and communists and socialist liars. And you're just a racial identity politician. You just part of Clown World, baby. Honk, honk. It's Clown World all the time with you people. Go get your clown masks on. Honk, honk. Honk, honk. Honk, honk, honk. Go back to Clown World now.
A couple quick things. First of all, I had no objection when Eric Holder, who went to my high school
high school.
I do. And when he said he was President Obama's wingman, I had no objection.
Well,
That's number one. Say again? What? I don't know anybody who had an objection. Also, I was shocked to learn just yesterday that President Biden commuted the sentence of Dylan Roof, the guy who shot up the black church, from a death sentence to life. And I find that utterly bizarre. So when we're looking
You know why he did that? Do you know why?
Well, I heard the justification. The justification is that he was anxious. That was so the attorney who advised Biden to do this says although he wasn't a good candidate for clemency, nevertheless he was recommended. Now, I am been in the past so far, and I'm not
No, he was the one. He was.
So the only three that were not commuted were people who were convicted of domestic terrorism.
Hello.
Like Dylan Roof.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the. I'm gonna put it in the chat for you to read.
So I'm sorry.
Never had one lesson.
I think it was recommended that his sentence be lowered to life. I don't know.
I don't know nothing about no recommendation. It says he did not.
I do. I watched the Senate hearing yesterday.
You just said yes, he did, and his article is clearly stating on December 23rd.
Order in the court.
President Biden commuted
Order in the court.
37 of the 40 inmates on federal death row. He did not commute the sentence.
Okay, I have to revise it.
Say it again. Say not. What does not mean?
I'm going to check
White
right
House
now.
stated those three cases were excluded because they involved terrorism or hate-motivated mass murder.
What does this
So what I'm
mean,
looking is that, hang on. So what I'm looking is that it was recommended that his sentence be commuted. I want
And he never approved it.
recommendation, so what?
And I wear fucking a green dress, and if I want to wear a pink one, I'm not wearing it.
We know one thing for sure. You didn't take no classes with Eric. You never have any classes together, huh?
So Biden's Justice Department, slow down. Biden's Justice Department recommended that his death sentence be commuted. I can paste it in the chat if you wish.
Well, let's wake this up because the last time Kitover came in here, which was, I want to say Memorial Day, he talked about how him and you were working together.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
He said that.
Work with John Kitover?
That's a
He
fact.
said you. He said you. He said you. He said
I have no
normal.
ability or
He
interest.
said you were directing the film
He
for
said
him.
normal.
You directing the film for him.
So the funny thing was when it was found out on the app that the lifelong Democrat, normal,
I'm a lifelong Democrat, yes.
voted for Trump.
Right.
It came out from Kitover.
Right.
So I
Yes,
think
secret
that.
No, I don't make love to men.
So I don't say that, but what I do say is that you have a strange way of showing support and
For who?
basic.
I vote for the best man
Just
for the
like
job.
you assumed, I'm going to leave it to the audience to assume
I vote for
what
the
I'm
best
saying.
man for the job.
Because we all had an understanding
Yes.
of who exactly
Who exactly what?
the death penalty cases where their sentences were commuted
Yes.
and who were not.
Right. So
And
I have to,
unfortunately, it doesn't seem like
you were keeping up with the news back then
Well,
because
I
it was
had
made
to
very
modify-
clear.
Sorry,
It was made very clear
I have to
about who
modify
was
what I
excluded.
said.
And,
So the Justice Department recommended that a roof sentence be commuted. So that's my mistake. However, Biden's Justice Department recommended
this is
that
the
Dylan's
thing.
roof
So-
sentence be commuted.
so you were proven to be wrong instead of taking
I
it on the
modified
chin.
what I said. Biden's Justice Department
Well, this
recommended
is the thing.
that Dylan roof sentence be commuted from
Well,
death
now-
to life.
Now we're a year past when this happened,
No, we're not.
and so it doesn't.
No, we're not either, past it.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
You know what?
That article.
Well,
You're sundowning, Pop Pop.
Say again?
You're sundowning, Pop Pop. It's time
No,
for you
I'm
to
not.
go to
I'm
bed.
informing you. I'm teaching you stuff, dearest little girl.
Nah, don't
Sweetie
say
pie?
that. That's rude.
Well, then don't call me Pop Pop and you won't get cold sweetie pie and little girl.
Well, this is
Not
not
even equivalent.
Go take your Geritol, Norm.
I don't take Geritol. I don't even know
No,
what
they're
it
not
is.
equivalent.
What's that?
They're not equivalent. Don't.
Yes, they're equivalent.
No,
I judge,
they're
not you, Jane. I judge, not you.
I did judge.
I judge what
I
comes out of my mouth.
I judged.
I'm not interested in your judgment.
I didn't say you were.
Good.
Great.
I think you should go spend time with your friend Kitover. It's time
He's
for
in
you to go.
Chicago. I'm in New York.
Well, your middle friend.
Could have been accurate, Norma. What's going on with
Say
you?
it.
Why did you choose to confess to?
Yeah, how long y'all been dating?
I didn't
I
confess
mean,
to
y'all been hanging out with each other.
He's the one that put your name on there.
I don't. It doesn't bother me one bit. He reports
Kitover said that
everything.
you were working on a project with him.
What's the project?
That's what Kitover said.
Bring him back in here. Bring him back in.
How long?
This is
How
what he
long?
said was
Yeah, how long?
unsolicited.
How long you been getting the Kitover special?
What's the Kitover special?
All those cameras.
Oh, what is it? I don't know anything about his
Yeah.
cameras. I think he has a lot of phones.
You're online, Norm. Trust me, you're online.
Say again?
You
I don't
think
mind
or
being
you know? You think or you know
I think or I know what?
that he has a lot of phones?
Well, I've seen video of it.
Oh, those phones seeing you up close to personal too.
You know,
I don't think so.
Haitian, have you seen video of Kitover? Because I haven't.
Yeah, motherfucker, weirdo. Yeah. Yep.
I haven't seen
Norm
video.
was in that room.
No, it's your documentary.
Yeah, he has an Instagram and all that fun stuff.
I've traveled the world
your
and I've been in some 20 countries, but I have not been to Chicago. Although I will go.
You never been to Chicago?
I haven't gone.
I wouldn't count his fucking base in Chicago either, but
Since I'm on Clubhouse, I have not been to Chicago. Not that I'm opposed to it, but I haven't been. The only time to go is in the summer. It's miserable in the winter.
I can't believe you're in this room, Al. Actually, that's really interesting.
Why not?
I just haven't seen you in this room before. That's interesting, though.
Oh, I'm here all the time.
Oh,
I'm here every day.
I didn't realize.
I'm here every day.
He comes every day. He comes in the morning usually. And then he
Morning,
makes,
evening.
yeah.
Lisa.
I said you come in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Hey, Patty, I have a question for you.
I swing by.
When you have a chance, I have a question for you.
For who?
For Patty.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Patty, I always wanted to ask you. I mean, the whole testosterone testing. I wanted to see how you felt about that because apparently they're going to be testing women, the women's screening as well. I just wanted to ask you. I don't mean to sideswipe, but I wanted to get your. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on that. The Pete Hegseth, testosterone screening.
No comment.
No comment, even for women, because I guess women are going to be tested as well.
where did you see the woman were going to be tested for?
No, it's factual.
No, I'm just asking, where'd you read that at?
Oh no, he put out
No, where did you read that at?
Here, I'll I'm not going to go research it. I thought you guys would have known about this.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, and I thought if you knew, you would know where you read it at.
Okay. Never.
So, hey,
Wait, hold on.
I did hear that they would test for testosterone.
Hold on.
They're just.
Yeah, but so see, what's the problem? But answer the question. I'm asking where you read it from.
Maybe she doesn't remember, sir.
Maybe she can speak for herself. El Normo.
She can, but it's clear.
Just
that
like
she
El
doesn't.
Normo doesn't remember his project with Kitover.
You know, I don't have a project with Kitover.
That's what Kitover said. He
I
said
think
that
he did.
he said that you guys were potentially going to the White House.
I don't think he said that.
Yes, he did.
Well, bring him in here. Let's see who's telling the truth. Bring him up. let's not debate about it. Let's get to the truth. I like facts. Bring Kitover up. He's got 10 million accounts. You should be able to get him in on one.
Well, he got kicked out. So
Well, he could come in on another account. He's got he must have 100 accounts.
I got like 50 blocked. So every time he comes with a new account, I just block him. The ones that I know of.
A lot of people don't like him. I've come to be ambivalent about him. I think he's just like doing performance art or something.
Okay, let's go back to the clip because there's extra comment. Now I'm talking about Kitover. Right.
Temporary suspension of most ICE traffic stops is now over. Plus, the hunt for the leaker is on, some White House officials told to him. Just 24 hours after the Department of Homeland Security paused ICE vehicle stops, President Trump said, "Not so fast," and he reversed course. The Trump administration has initiated a pause in the wake of 2 deadly ICE shootings, but in a post on social media, Trump said, "We cannot give up one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools, the traffic stop." So, why the policy whiplash? Well, apparently, Trump became furious after hearing MAGA allies criticize the suspensions. For example, prominent conservative lawyer Mike Davis, who had this message for Trump's new DHS chief.
You work for President Trump. You don't work for Senate Democrats. You don't work for Susan Collins. The American people want illegal aliens the hell out of our country. And not just the worst of the worst, all of them. This guy needs to stop being a wimp. He needs to stop being weak. He needs to stop being stupid. If he's not up to doing the job, get the hell out of his job and we'll put someone there who can.
Anna Navarro is here with us now. It seems like if you listen to the Mike Davises of the world, and I'm sure there are many of them.
I don't.
Not you, but Trump. If Trump listens to them, which it sounds like he does, he would miss what actually happened over the last year, which is that this hyper-aggressive immigration enforcement, the killing of people in the streets, created an enormous backlash that turned an issue that they actually had positive approval on into something that was a negative for the president. So are they just falling into this trap of sort of just feeding the MAGA beast incessantly until, maybe they just kind of have the political consequences are not what they think it's going to be?
Well, I think it's 2 things. I think it is feeding the MAGA beast, as you say, but I also think that it's going along with Trump's policy of not ceding an inch when it comes to immigration policy, even if that immigration policy is not effective. It is effective in killing people, in killing innocent people. In both the cases that happened within the last week, he's calling it, Trump calls it one of the most effective tools they have. I would say that it's incredibly ineffective, not only because ICE is ending up executing people, but they're executing the wrong people. They have
They're
targets.
executing the wrong people. They should be executing other people?
The people in the cars. The person in Maine, Juan Sebastian Guerrero, had a work permit, which means that he's got to have been in this country under some legal color of law. You don't have a social security number and a work permit unless you have legal status to be, it could be temporary, but legal status to be in this country. So if you are killing people that are the wrong targets, some of whom are here with some legal status, it's not effective. And I also think it's not good when Donald Trump is coming in and telling people who are supposedly more of experts on this particular field how they have to do their jobs.
So apparently Trump was, according to our reporting, caught off guard. He was not told by Mark Wayne Mullen, the DHS secretary, or Tom Homan, the border czar, about the pause in traffic stops. Now Mark Wayne Mullen is backtracking, saying President Trump and I are on the same page. But again, Chair Michael, if we look at what happened here, you look at what has been happening with these traffic stops, which are extremely dangerous on both sides. Isn't the right policy to pause and evaluate the practice?
Well, look, the immigration policy has been effective in one vein, but then there's a lot of concern as it pertains to people being shot and killed, particularly people who shouldn't have been stopped at all, at least according to this particular instance. Now, I watched Home and On, I think Fox News
People
either
shouldn't
yesterday
have been
or
stopped at all in
this
this
morning.
particular instance.
And he made a pretty reasonable argument, which was the reason you pause this temporarily is to reassess the training. The Federal Law Enforcement Training Center down in South Georgia, I don't believe, at least from some of the folks I've talked to, that ICE agents are typically trained for local stops, like police officers. And so if you're going to pause this and reassess, you should do that and figure out how you increase that level of training so that they can carry on with their duties to keep them safe, but also the individuals that they're encountering in the streets. And so just tactically, I'm not opposed to that, and I think to consider that makes a lot of sense so that the progress of this can avoid these types of instances going forward. And then again, look, we're in an election coming up. I understand what Mike Davis is concerned with as a radio host, but as a strategist, I have to be concerned with numbers. And we want to add to our coalition and not subtract. So when I'm looking at independence, I have to look at some of the factors that suggest to me that maybe some of this turns them off. And what does that mean for some of our vulnerable Republicans like in the House? So that's the way I'm
like Susan Collins. I mean, this is happening in a place where they have a competitive Senate race. Okay, it's not like a hypothetical thing. Susan Collins is in a fight for her life right now. That's why she tried to take credit for the pause yesterday, and now they leave her hanging. This seems like the worst politics. I mean, let me play. This is Nirav Shah, who is running to replace Susan Collins as a Democratic Senate candidate in Maine. Listen.
Senator Collins likes to tell Mainers that she is a leader with the unique standing to pick up the phone, provide oversight, and fix things. But her record tells a completely different story. The truth is, Senator Collins is never going to hold ICE accountable because she is the one bankrolling. There is a straight line between from Senator Collins to the tragedy that we saw yesterday.
Trump threw her under the bus today.
A couple things. So one, I think the knee-jerk reaction we're seeing from him and some of the other candidates to basically call ICE a rogue agency, I don't think that that's going to gain traction either, because we saw this similar sort of vein in 2020 where the backlash to a few disturbing incidents was to say, let's defund the police. That didn't go over. And so I think in the same way, the side that the left is taking is also going to have backlash. And people do want ICE. They don't want to see ICE abolished. And so I think the left is going further and further in a way that actually will alienate voters. So one other point that I think Trump feels very keenly, and folks in his administration, is he was elected to do this. He was elected because people wanted deportations. And I think it's important when we talk about this issue to provide the context, because they see every day that passes, if we aren't deporting potentially unvetted illegal criminals, there's an opportunity. Every single day. Last week there was an illegal permit to buy in the country, and it was not allowed. And over 70% of the people that are getting deported. And my point is that every day criminal record. So be careful with your words and be accurate. My point is that you're lying. I'm not lying. You're lying. My point is the man had a permanent, had a legal status here. It was not unvetted.
So we don't.
No, you understand.
Let me just clear this up. In the two cases that we're talking about here, you have one individual who had no criminal record, who'd been in the country 35 years, had never had an interaction with law enforcement, and he was not the target. In Maine, you had somebody, we actually don't know what his immigration status was, but we do know that he had a work permit and he had a social security.
I understand, and that is a trial.
And Anna is correct that most of the arrests that are being made are people who do not have criminal records.
I understand that. My point, though, is that there is an opportunity cost. Last week, there was a trooper in Pennsylvania who was killed by somebody who had a commercial driver's license who didn't speak English. Every day there's something that happens to Americans. And so the administration is looking at that bigger picture. They're looking at the context.
This is what I don't understand is what is this collective punishment thing that keeps coming up every time we talk about immigration? Why is it that someone else's crimes are the responsibility of other people who did not commit them?
But to Anna's point, they weren't unvetted. That's the point. Like, these are people that are here. I think you don't actually understand the process that someone has to go through when they come and immigrate or apply for work permit.
didn't answer that process. So here's the thing, we're talking about
work permit, that matters. If he had a work permit, that means that he had a political asylum claim pending, or he had some sort of claim pending, a residency. Something was pending if he had a legal work permit. You don't give work permits to people who are here illegally. They were on a target on the
It's not going to go away. They're going to continue to do the job. And so back to my original point, focusing on the training is incredibly important here. And I understand some people have been inappropriately targeted. I do not negate those facts, but they're not disappearing. So what the hell is the resolution here?
Let me let Charles have that word here because, there is a training issue, but there's also a widely reported quota that has been put into place that has increased pressure on these ICE and Border Patrol officers. They have flooded the streets with people, some of whom are new to these agencies, who are doing tactics that they really shouldn't be doing. They're actually against DHS policy, but it doesn't matter because the most important thing are the numbers, to Stephen Miller at least.
Right. But both you and Lydia brought up this idea of doing away with ICE. No one is suggesting that. In fact, I was going to finish it.
Some people are suggesting
but the stop was not put in place by someone who wanted to get rid of ICE. He's running ICE. He just said, let's pause for a second.
Which is what I just said.
If you let me finish, I would let you know what I'm saying.
All right, brother.
Let's
not do this craziness already.
Let's calm down.
Just let him finish his
So what I'm saying is the president simply can't take a win. The numbers of people who have been detained have been going
down significantly.
No.
Michael, please. Let him
All right.
Yeah, Michael, dude, is getting on my fucking nerves, and he's black. He is pushing me to fuck off. He keeps interrupting the other speaker. It's ridiculous. Hold on.
All right. So, a temporary pause would not have harmed or done away that, Charles. But you want to talk? Just go ahead. Go ahead. This thing, I'm trying to
when people do that, you get really upset about it. Just please let him finish. That's fair. Understand what he's trying to say. Just go ahead, Charles.
What I'm trying to say is this. A temporary pause wouldn't harm them at all. But Trump is so invested in the optics of looking tough rather than actually doing the job that he wants to do, which is to get rid of more, which is not something that I'm in favor of because they're so tilted towards people who are not dangerous, they're not criminals other than having been in the country illegally. This whole worst of the worst thing is a complete farce. And the radio host that we just played said that. They don't care about the worst of the worst anymore. Every single person. And what the president didn't do was acknowledge those deaths at all. So basically, these people are collateral damage in his war.
Let me read this.
Pausing temporarily for further training.
That's what I said.
Let me read this viewer comment that we just got in from CNN.com/Abby. This person says, people elected Trump for more deportations, but not by any means necessary, especially violent means. I actually think this comment really hits the nail on the head because when you there's a lot of polling that says a lot of different things. When you really drill down on what the broad strokes of it are, that Americans didn't like what was happening in the Biden administration. They didn't like the perceived open borders, laissez-faire immigration policy. They wanted more enforcement, but they really recoiled at the mass deportations, the spectacle on the streets of American cities. And particularly when things got to Minneapolis, the backlash was huge. And I don't remember who said it, but Trump actually did back down. Don't forget that. He backed down after Minneapolis because he saw the same polls that we were looking at.
Well, I think that comment hits home because this was the reason why, one of the reasons, many reasons why Donald Trump came in, and it was a focal point of his campaign that we are going to focus on immigration, but the means on how you do that and how you execute the mission really matter. And I think to what Lydia and Jermichael also were saying about this idea of training, I know there are people on the left that suggest that, ICE does not have a role or should get rid of ICE. I don't believe that. I do think ICE has a role to play, but you have to have properly trained and equipped agents, and stopping someone in a car and shooting them through the passenger window while they have a child in the back is not part of the training. And I can tell you that it is not part of probably any enforcement training. So I think, the president to reverse this pause is going to backfire on him. And you do have a very critical Senate race in Maine, and now Susan Collins yet again is on her back foot.
And let's also remember that some of the people who've been killed by ICE in these confrontations, these vehicular confrontations and shot by ICE, some of whom have not died, are U.S. citizens.
All right. Turn over your.
I'll put on pause. Any comments, y'all?
Yeah, who's that bitch they talking to?
I don't know. She's young. I've never. Yeah, she.
Sound like fucking watching white shit.
Yeah, she didn't even know what the fuck she was talking about. That's the shit that's worse. She just said illegal. The guy he had a work permit and a social security number. I don't know how illegal he was.
So, hey, Patty, have you heard of I don't know, I just got a glimpse of it yesterday, I believe, on, we can't remember what network, but the pretty much involuntary homeless camp in Utah.
The what?
Apparently, there's a place in Utah. I mean, I don't have any verification on this whatsoever. But has anybody else heard of it? There's apparently a facility in Utah that people are being houseless people are being mandatorily shipped to, and they're involuntarily.
What do you mean involuntary ship? Were they caught by ICE?
They don't want to be there, but they're being forced to go there.
Were they caught by ICE?
I don't know. I was just asking if anybody else had heard of it. I'm not too sure.
Maybe that's the only available facility for them to be housed at. I don't know what. If you're talking about an ICE facility, is it an ICE facility?
No, I don't think it's an ICE facility. It's just generally for people who are disheveled or homeless or suffering severe poverty, maybe mental problems.
Oh, so you're talking about there's a facility. It's funded by the federal government?
I think he's talking about what Stephen Miller was trying to do, somebody. Stephen Miller is trying to get people indigent off the streets.
I haven't heard about that.
Yeah,
there's not a place that I heard of. But what I'm saying, because he's kind of vague what he's saying, Stephen. So are you referencing what Stephen Miller was trying to propose?
I think that's what he's referencing, but he's
talking about a place in Utah.
Hey, I just added a link to Tom Homan spoke on Face the Nation on YouTube. I just added it if you guys are interested. I don't know if you guys heard it, but he spoke this morning on Face the Nation.
Okay, I'll play it after we're done with this. Okay, babe?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No, never mind. Thank you. Nobody else has heard of it. Cool. Thanks. Love you.
No problem, Stephen. Any comments, y'all?
Yeah, that shit's absolutely batshit crazy.
Hey, Eddie Ed.
How's it going? I have a comment with someone on the finish.
Go ahead, you can comment.
These political decisions that Trump is making, I just did not understand. He really did throw her under a bus, Susan Collins. It's like
he's going to bring the whole party down. If he's not going to win, he's going to bring it.
Hey, let him finish. It's like he's decided that he's just not going to win the midterms and just resolved on that. Granted, he's not a great legislator in the first place, but it just, I don't know, it really doesn't make sense at all. Just really weird decision. But go ahead, see, you can go.
You have a really good point. I've been saying this for quite a while, and so I don't know if you ever, Anthony Scaramucci, but he says the same thing as well. Is that he's so power ego. he's so lonely and he is so hungry for power and money that if he doesn't win, then he'll bring MAGA down. And this is what I said the other day. It's like, I'm worried because I sense that he's going to get more erratic up until the midterms, and he's not going to win. And then after that, it's going to be really bad. He's going to do some crazy shit because he is so power hungry, and he's literally going to bring down. It's basically like he wants Gavin Newsom to be the next president because if he can't keep the power, he's going to bring the whole party down because he's such a selfish person in life. It's so sad.
I'm going to offer a different view. I think Trump, and if not Trump himself, then the people around him realize the big picture is the most important thing is that the next president is a Republican. Because if the next president is a Democrat, then they will be investigating Trump for the rest of his life. He'll be in litigation for the rest of his life. I mean, even if he pardons himself and pardons everyone who ever worked for him, because Biden did set that precedent by pardoning his own son. So now Trump can pardon everyone he possibly can. Even if he does, he will be investigated by state attorney generals for the rest of his life. He knows the big picture. The big picture is it's one thing to lose midterms, but God forbid Gavin Newsom is the next president. Trump will be spending the rest of his life defending himself from lawsuits. What we saw happen in 2020, where he was sued in 30 different places for election fraud, it will be nothing compared to what could happen in 2029. So
I'm a lifelong Democrat, and the only part I can agree with you on is God forbid Gavin Newsom be fucking president. I am also a Californian. And if you're talking about a corrupt motherfucker from the pits of fucking hell itself, welcome to Gavin Newsom. Come to California. It's fucking torture.
Basically,
He's a bit of a mess right now.
yeah, exactly. That's why I don't think Gavin Newsom can be president based on all the tragedies that have happened to California in the last while he was governor. I mean, starting with the net.
Come on, Randy. Lineage. Do I really need to say?
Randy.
Let's go back to Trump.
Weren't you a Democrat?
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm curious how you become so
Randy,
different.
could you explain how his current decision making would help the Republicans keep
But
the
back
president?
Trump, though, he's going to do everything.
Wait.
He's going to do everything to win. And if he will bring down the party if he doesn't keep the power.
I wanted to hear Randy's opinion on
He's going to actually blame.
I don't know.
That's the whole thing. He's going to bring them down with them. He is. And that's why he's actually holding JD. He's going to
hijack.
see him doing that.
See, let him, he asked him a question, let him answer that question real quick, okay, babe? Go
I
ahead.
don't have an answer for you. I don't even know when you say his current decision making. What decision are you referring to that you think? Are you referring to?
You said earlier that Trump's key decision at this point, or key motive at this point,
Right.
is to make sure that the next president is Republican.
Right.
And I said, how is his current thinking and or decision making helping that end?
Well, what decision do you think he's made that does not help that end? I mean, the Iran war, is that where you want to go?
That doesn't seem to help his end.
Well, I think he's walking a tightrope right now. He can't be seen as letting Iran win. It's not a good sign to the rest of the world if America can't even win against Iran. That tells China and Russia that it's fair game to do whatever you want because the U.S. is afraid to sustain casualties and would rather retreat than sustain casualties. So he's playing it through, but
You're not answering Ed's question, though.
because I don't know what he's referring to.
I think
What decision do you think that Trump is making? What decision is he making that's leading him that would lose him the election?
What
following.
is he doing to make you feel confident that he wants to make sure that someone in the MAGA party is going to be the vice president? What actions has he taken? What is he doing to ensure
Well,
that his party is
I think he's building up both Vance and Rubio. And as Vance, now that we're seeing daylight between Vance and Trump, I think he's promoting Rubio. I think he set up Rubio to be the next president.
I agree with that.
Agreed.
I mean, Rubio is just showing himself to be intensely qualified.
Yeah. In other words, what we have is never really quite happened here, that we have a VP who would normally be next in line to be president, and, you know, like Clinton Gore and all the other times, you know, and instead we're seeing, you know, Trump propping up Marco Rubio now.
It's not unlike what Obama did, though.
With
With who?
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
I don't believe that he wanted. I mean, he stayed above it. I don't think he like actively promoted her over Biden.
There was acrimony between them because of 2008 when Clinton was. He said that it was a, what do you call it, a Jesse Jackson pipe dream?
My point is there was precedent, that's all. You guys are acting like it's unheard of.
Okay.
That's not the point. The point
That was my point of view.
Yeah, I don't really want to die on this hill either. I just, you know, I mean, you're asking me to prove negative. You're asking me, like, what steps is he taking?
No, I wanted you to follow through on your train of thought.
My train of thought is that he definitely wants a Republican to win in 2028. He must. I'll say it again. If a Republican does not win, he and his family will be in litigation for the rest of their life.
I think the Republicans are going to run on. The Democrats are crazy, transgender communists.
I think
DSA.
stay in power.
Agreed.
I think he
That's
wants.
what the Republicans will run on.
I think Trump wants to stay in power.
And do you mean with the third term?
I do. I really.
Yeah, he would love to, but I
No,
don't see that happening.
honestly, I think really that's what. I think that's it. I mean, he's such a selfish motherfucker. I don't see him endorsing. I think Rubio and JD Vance are getting the shit show. JD Vance was on, you know, Joe Rogan. I don't know if you saw that. I mean, he was basically like. I mean, it's kind of like really.
Sounded like an idiot.
But he's giving them all these jobs that are shitty jobs. Here, JD Vance, go deal with this war that I started. Here, you know, I'll blame you, but I'll take credit if it works out. You know,
Right. Listen, he's probably spoken to his lawyers and said, give me any scenario where I can hang around for a third term. And they've told him it can't be done. I don't see him, he hasn't begun to do like a constitutional amendment saying he can, you know, saying that he can be president for a third time. I mean, that's what everybody said last time when he lost, that he won't turn over power. Well, at the end of the day, he did turn over power.
I think
Yeah, but that's not to say he's not going to be a big baby and rent a room before he goes.
I think that's
You know.
what the slush fund is about. I think he's creating his own army. I think he's trying to. I think he's going to create a civil war. I think he might with this whole election shit.
That's called
I mean,
conspiracy
if
theory.
we're not there yet, and hopefully we won't be there, but I think, you know, he's so erratic and he's getting old, and he, like, you know, should be worried. I mean, and his family. I mean, this whole slush fund, I mean, they're trying to get the IRS taxes immunity because they know they profited and made a shitload of money. And that's why they did this. And that's fraud on the court. Never been done before. And it's never been done by a president. And that is bullshit. And his personal attorney is now going to be put in place as our
Take a breath,
for the
Take a
people.
breath.
You got like
Breathe, sister, breathe.
I've ever heard.
Nah, see, don't stop. See, come on, keep going. See,
No, the
I mean, no. I mean, I agree with you. Just please breathe, darling.
Todd Plant is really bad. I mean, he was a lawyer. They treated the. I mean, it's really bad. Todd Plant, that's his personal
Like you're
He's been Michael Cohen. He's Michael Cohen White House for Trump.
All right,
That's
calm
what he is.
down.
I'm calm, but I'm just saying, like, you guys, I don't know if you watched all this shit, but that's fraud. That if we break our judicial system, we're fucked.
Okay,
Nobody's breaking anything. Everybody's just exposing the fractures.
Let me land. If Todd Vance becomes the Attorney General, I am concerned about America because that could change the course because our judicial system will break down. So that's why I bring this up. And it does make me concerned because if Todd Blanche is Attorney General, his personal attorney, it's basically Trump's family attorney.
The Attorney General does not run the judicial system, see?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Separate branch of government.
You know, when you can actually set up immunity for his family, and not only Trump's family, it's
I thought you were gonna land. I thought you were Stop. We're gonna have to do 45 seconds.
I don't think we're gonna go.
See, you keep going.
See, there are plenty of well-armed Americans that don't believe in Trump and will not let that happen. Chill the fuck out. If it happens, it happens. So be it. If it happens, it happens. So be it. You know, but getting all hyped up over it and like giving yourself a heart attack isn't gonna do you no good.
TBS on high alert here.
Okay, y'all. So the only reason why we're open this late is because Lisa had something to do tonight, and her mods are gonna be modded, and it's almost 11:30. So
I hope
around
it's a
12
date.
o'clock.
I hope she's on a date.
Okay, around 12 o'clock, she has crazies that come in. I guess they're coming in here tonight. Thank you, Michael Craig. Yeah, Michael Craig, Haitian.
Yo. So you got that back up? Got back up? You don't have a back up?
Michael Craig, Haitian in Florida, because those are her moms. Okay, so let me go back to the clip, y'all. We're gonna finish this Abby Phillips, and then there's another discussion. So I'm playing.
Oh my God! Please don't play those.
Well,
They're so bad.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Well, he gives us things to talk about that.
Investigators, that is the order that some White House officials are now facing as the search for the source of the Air Force One leak is now on. We'll be right back. Tonight, show us your phone. A request coming from the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, and the FBI Director Kash Patel, who personally orchestrated a leak investigation last week at the White House. CNN reports that the investigation was aimed at determining who in the government leaked information about this. The person who brought this whole thing to everyone's attention was Donald Trump. He was the first person at 8:42 a.m. on July 8th to send out a Truth Social post that says, "For old time's sake, I will be taking the old Air Force One from Turkey to Milton Hall," and he says the new Air Force One is going to go ahead. So he touched off this whole thing.
Right. Listen, I am pretty big on press freedoms. I do not like this crackdown where they have people going to reporters' houses in particular. I'm really nervous about this idea of Kash Patel sitting in the White House collecting phones for the administration because they're embarrassed. This is not the first administration to do this, and it really worries me from a press freedom perspective as to what presidents will do in order to crack down on leakers. It's a real problem. It is a press problem.
It's a real problem.
It's bigger than any one administration. Trump is doing a bad thing now, but he's not the first, and we need to deal with the fact that the president cannot pressure reporters to give up sources. Full stop.
Yeah, the Times has asked, by the way, just now tonight, to quash these subpoenas of its journalists. But yeah, you're right, Charles. I mean, he's not the first president. He's probably not even the president who's used the subpoena power the most. But I think the part of this that is so just interesting and very Trumpian is that he's embarrassed about the plane.
Yes,
He rushed a $400 million retrofit of a plane, and it wasn't ready for prime time, and now he's embarrassed. That's what this is about.
He's not only embarrassed, I mean, the plane was never going to be secure enough to allow the time that it would need to retrofit it completely. I mean, the comm system that goes into Air Force One, the evasion systems that it has on board, that's just not going to be possible to install. And so the president, while he was really proud about touting this plane, he totally was embarrassed. And that's why he's cracking down and trying to figure out the leaks of where this all came from. But the reality is that there's so many people that are involved in what it takes to have Air Force One take off, from the advanced staff on the ground to people in the White House to the military. It can come from anywhere, and it's something probably as small as the plane's just not secure, and then it becomes, a story that is widely reported. And so I share Charles's concern about a crackdown of press freedoms. We certainly dealt with leaks in the Biden White House and the Biden administration that were concerning and sometimes dealt with issues of national security, but you can't clamp down on freedom of the press either.
I think Charles is right about most presidents just not wanting to deal with leaks to the press. And I remember the Obama administration was incredibly aggressive and and I understand why. And for me, I don't know where I land on this, because in one vein, I don't want national security issues being printed or written about. But on your show, when we first talked about this plane, that was my biggest reason to be against it, because I was worried about the president's safety on a plane from the Qataris. I don't know what the hell is going on with Boeing. It's taking them way too long to finish these planes.
Isn't this actually to Boeing's in defense? They have to actually keep the plane secure. They can't cut corners. Is that it is not an easy thing to do. It takes time.
It does.
Yeah, there are going to be delays, but Trump wants a quick fix. And yeah, I mean, I think that actually there is a strong argument to be made that it is in the public interest to know.
Well,
but I just wonder.
What's the line?
There are presidents on this plane, right? If there are going to be presidents on this plane, and they want to make it seem like the plane is safe, but the plane is not safe. There's
two things. One, it strikes me that this White House is taking far more consequences to find out who leaked information about this plane, which I feel like, to your point, Donald Trump blabbed all about, than they did with Signalgate, for example, which to me seems like a far more serious concern of national security. And also, it's Trump who told us he wasn't going to be on the new Air Force One. It's Trump who told us the Israelis had told him that the Iranians were targeting him. It's Trump who can't shut up about being the #1 target of the Iranians. So maybe somebody should go look at his phone in his mouth.
all right. That was there. Next for us, the Secretary of Defense has a new message for the military troops who are.
Any comments, y'all, on this damn Trump plane?
I don't think prosecution is going to go anywhere. I mean, one can easily deduce that there was a security issue with the plane. It wasn't rocket science.
Yeah, we
Thank Israel for pointing it out to him and protecting his life.
As a consequence of his decision.
Israel had to point it out to him, and we all didn't.
Israel informed him that there was a serious threat on his life, and that's what resulted in his changing planes. That was when he was in NATO a week and a half ago in Ankara, at the NATO meeting in Ankara, Turkey.
So,
I got a comment too.
go ahead.
Yeah, it's more just the overall about Trump. Trump he behaves like a petulant child, and he's really too immature to be a world leader. And the way that he carries himself, Fred Trump must have never disciplined him. The fact that we've been talking about this kind of stuff, the boy from Qatar, he wanted to use his new plane, and he was just going to use his plane, and he doesn't care anything about anything. He's just going to use his plane like a spoiled, petulant, bratty-ass child. It's just ridiculous that we're having these conversations about the president of the United States. Anyway, I yield. That's all I want to say.
Well, Michael, he is like a petulant child for sure, but his father did send him to military school as a punishment.
Yeah, he got in trouble. But
Hold on for a second. Norm, it was said, Mary Trump reported, and it's like the reports are that after he threw rocks at a baby, at an infant or whatever, and then he went to military school sometime after that. I doubt that Fred ever laid like hand to ass or belt to ass on him. He doesn't behave like anyone who's ever disciplined.
Well, some people consider that child abuse, Michael, and I would not trust anybody's unverified reports of anything.
Well, even if
back in the 60s and 70s, it was considered child. Well, I mean, even before then, like the 50s? So when was Trump born? Goddamn, he's 80 years old? Back in the 50s and 60s, it would have been fucking child abuse to spank him.
My parents spanked the shit out of me.
Change your morals because going back a few years, I would.
What? You have to reconsider what were the morals and what were the norms back then, right? Like it was obviously not good child abuse to be smacking a child around in the 50s and 60s.
Did your parents spank you? Because I'll admit it, my parents spanked the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Come on. And I loved them. I love them, by the way, but they did do that.
Welcome to you.
Look, you know your parents whooped you. You lived in certain households. Like, I know my grandmother didn't need a belt. My grandmother was 6'3". You know, if she punched you, she didn't punch you, but hit you with the flat part of her hand. That hurts. She's 6'3". You know what I'm saying? Almost 200 pounds. Ain't nobody trying to be hit by nothing like that. I know I didn't. She didn't need no extension cord. You did something real bad. You may get okay. You go outside and you break off a switch. You do it, but it's gotta be bad, like something like skipping school or ending up in jail. My mother just didn't whoop you just cause. She told you why right before that. Don't go to jail. Don't do these things. So I don't think that whooping for certain things is bad. If you're abusing or doing something out of context, that is not right. My mother never abused us or punched us or hit us in the face or nothing like that. My mother didn't do that. She hit us on our butt. You know what I mean? She didn't punch us. So there was some discipline, but she also said why she. And some parents don't do that. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you good. I just want to keep it on Trump. My point being that Trump acts like a person that was never in you know your time. Trump acts like a person that was never different. He also acts like a person that's never been in a fist fight. Trump does act like a veteran, and he's really has time, and that's how he behaves as a world leader. And we're in a bad predicament, and like I said, it's like there was some stuff that was
Not everybody thinks that fighting is a way to solve problems, or that beating children is okay. Just maybe a culture. It sounds like a cultural difference. Yeah, so it's not. It's actually the problem. So
It goes like that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the audience rejected it. Again, this wasn't selling in fucking comic books. You know, so again, this is suburban. Bro, let's tell you what's you're the Matrix, like, you're the Matrix. I'm a fucking nerd. They did it. She hear me over. They didn't even come in my land. Yeah. She hear me now? Yeah, you're hearing her. Yeah, I'm trying to make this point where I land, and I'll see how. But look, man, I'm really.
Okay, that's it. Not just because you go. You have to prove when you get out. Just because you go doesn't mean I'm sure he goes to the plane and taking his test.
It's a highly disciplined environment.
They dumped a woman. Is that his opinion is clearly he was allowed to do what he wanted, and
that's the made up story.
How made up story? Where have you ever seen him take accountability, or where have you ever seen him take accountability for anything that he did?
You're describing him getting beaten as a child. That's different than accountability.
I'm just talking about his parents applying whatever discipline a parent needs to instill into a child. As they grow and mature, you must take accountability as an adult, particularly as a leader.
Right. That's a story that you made up.
Okay.
Hey, can I add some context here?
In reality, look, you might say the discipline works to a certain extent. The discipline works to a certain extent. We know this. Hey, Michael, you remember that show Scared Straight? Remember the show Scared Straight?
I do.
Yeah, of course, yes.
I remember.
Right. Hey, listen. That was a sign of fear to scare people into doing the right thing. Sometimes, in a lot of cases, it didn't work. People turned their life around. They were so fearful of going to prison, and when they met actual criminals, they told them what was going on in prison. It scared them, and they actually changed their life. But sometimes the discipline part, it works. What's happening now with the children up the school systems, they're doing all type of stuff. They're not getting the discipline, I believe, because now a parent cannot discipline their child because their child can be taken away from them, and therefore parents refuse to really even get into that discipline action, and it's causing these children to be spoiled and going out and going crazy because they're not having any discipline. And this is what Trump is a perfect example of that.
Hey, can I provide a little bit of context here?
Go ahead, Stan. And then after Stan, I think
okay. So there's a biography or a story written out there that when Trump was 7, he pulled Sharon Mozzarella's pigtails. She raced downstairs after him and smacked him upside the head with her lunchbox. So that's probably the last time he got beat up and he got sent to military school afterwards.
These are all very entertaining stories that you guys have made up.
No, that's true. Go search the internet. You can find it. It's
You
written
just
out.
said that's probably the last time. That's the made up part.
Fine.
Okay, go ahead. You was trying to say something earlier? Jay. Okay, let me go ahead and put you on mute. Any other comments, y'all? So I'm gonna go ahead and play the rest. No? Yay. Hey.
30 years and older will now be tested for low testosterone. As the war in Iran continues, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is announcing a new, unrelated initiative.
I'm authorizing a new screening program for testosterone deficiency for our service members, ensuring you have the right testosterone levels to operate at your absolute best. Because it's well-established science that as we age, testosterone levels often naturally drop. Under the supervision of our world-class medical professionals, warfighters age 30 and older are going to be tested annually as part of their periodic health assessment. Those under 30 can voluntarily choose to get the test as well. If treatment is recommended, it's entirely your choice to receive testosterone replacement therapy.
The Pentagon didn't respond to questions about what research or academic studies underpinned this move, though concerns about testosterone deficits in military units who are under intense stress and demanding conditions are not entirely new. The Pentagon also didn't say if, for example, female troops would be screened and treated for hormonal changes as they enter menopause, for example. Experts have debated for years how to diagnose problems related to low testosterone levels and whether they should be treated by actually replacing the hormone. And this is
only for trans, not for soldiers that need testosterone. Only for trans, duh.
Defense Secretary is out there making this a top policy priority.
Like it's a big deal for guys. I mean, once you turn 30, your testosterone levels begin to decrease. I called a number of folks I know, active, retired vets, and they all said, like, yeah, dude, we're taking TRT peptides because our testosterone levels do indeed decrease. Now, I'm not at that point yet, thank God, Charles. I think about it, man, how I've noticed. That is something we have to do. Generally speaking, I'm not saying, let me be clear.
There is a lot of, on the health side, I think there is a lot of disputed science about what to do about it. And whether or not mass surveillance of everyone for testosterone problems is even a solution. And of course, on the political side, the Democrats are pointing out this is gender affirming care, and it completely debunks all of Republicans' attacks on trans people. Tammy Duckworth says, sounds like gender affirming care to me. And then the Michigan Congressman says, this is the same administration that tells you not to take vaccines. It rails against gender affirming care. Look, even if you put aside the gender affirming care, I actually think the vaccines is important. They got rid of the flu vaccine, and a bunch of everyone got sick with the flu. And these war fighters, some of them actually died as a result of this. So, I mean, there are really important things that affect everyone in the military, not just men of a certain age, everyone.
Well, let's be clear.
Especially they got rid of all the trans.
They're not forcing testosterone down your throat. I think it's good. I want lethal war.
They want lethal war fighters.
Mandatory annually. If you're under 30, it's voluntary. So she's full of shit.
To have high testosterone, but these are totally optional, right? It's not. We're not forcing everyone to get the COVID vaccine. We're not forcing everyone to take testosterone. That would be crazy, but there is science to suggest a lot of men have low testosterone, and taking it could be good for their health. So I think information is power.
The bigger point.
I don't think it's something to outrage over.
The bigger point to me is that you're still. This is fixating on a 1950s GI Joe form of military, and what in particular one of the biggest wars right now is teaching us is that modern warfare is completely different. The war between Russia and Ukraine, we need different kinds of fighters. It has nothing to do with.
This is super important. Today, or this week as well, Pete Hegseth blocked the promotion of 7 senior Navy officers, 5 of whom were women or people of color, to Star Admiral ranks, to the 2-star Admiral ranks. That means that there would be no female active duty naval officers likely to be promoted to Admiral at all this year. So G.I. Joe, military, and women being blocked almost completely from the highest ranks.
And also, listen, I live in Miami, which I think is probably the international capital of testosterone replacement therapy. And let me just say, I think it's a little irresponsible, and I would say, so get ready for the lawsuits, because testosterone replacement means that men become infertile.
That's true.
Testosterone replacement means testosterone replacement. Well, it's more than testing, because you're basically, it's promoting testosterone replacement for anybody who gets tested and then has a low testosterone. What's the point of testing you if it's not there? So there's a lot
testosterone replacement therapy.
I mean, honestly, like, it doesn't sound like that terrible of an idea. Frankly, I think I support it. Like, I mean, obviously, I also think that, like, equating TRT testing and potential TRT therapy, like, to gender affirming care is just like a pretty far stretch. We obviously know the science behind it. We know that low testosterone is plaguing American men, and like the idea that the military is going to require men to get tested for testosterone levels every year and then voluntarily choose to take therapy, TRT, if they want, right? That's the key word. It is still voluntary to use the TRT, but like, if that's going to help promote men's health in the military, it just sounds like another benefit for these soldiers or other service members. I don't really see it.
Well, I think there was a really, really good yet understated question in there is, if they're going to do this for the men, are they going to do this for the women?
Yes, women are being.
I think that's a very, very, very fair question that had not been answered in it. Because I was in a room earlier, and the main subject of topic was how little science in the medical field knows about women. Period. Compared to men, they know about 1%.
Dude, it's really fucking weird, actually.
I would be more curious to hear from someone that's
women in the Army are going to be screened for testosterone over the age of 30. It's really weird. I don't know. I think it's really strange. But hey, if you guys are all for it, I just want the person that's heading up our Pentagon to have a strategy before they start a war. And the testosterone is not going to solve the war. Okay, they should have.
Here's a fun fact. The way to keep your testosterone, folks, keep on fucking. But half of you guys are just sitting at home jerking off.
I mean, I'm just curious if anybody on stage is actually in the military and can maybe like attest to like why you would not be for testing.
Well, this reminds me of when they tested, when they actually hit Hitler.
I just don't see an issue with it.
It's almost they're taking data on people. It's almost a database, because RFK.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question. This is for anybody that works in the medical field. So I was talking to my homegirl stuff. she's a doctor and she works it down. She got out. She's one of the examiners. She told me with this new testosterone testing, the problem with y'all, yes or no, the problem with the testing is it's really hard to how she explained it.
It's very inaccurate. It varies quite heavily.
She said it's like certain times of the day.
Correct.
She said, and we know, she said, and I know, and you know, based off of experience, a lot of people in the military don't sleep well. And when you don't sleep well, a lot of times your levels can be false. It won't be a problem.
It can vary by a couple of 100 points depending on A, your mood, B, your sleep levels, C, the time of day, D, whether or not you just fucking busted a nut, et cetera, et cetera. There's multiple reasons why your test levels can vary by a couple 100 points. So if they're only going to do one test per year, that's probably not going to be sufficient necessarily to get a good average reading. You would want to do multiple typically.
And she also said about so a lot of people, I hate to know this, but a lot of people in the military are on antidepressants because of their deployments. And she said that alone is a problem. There's a lot of the medications we take. So it's. She said we already test for it. She don't understand why the mandatory, because there's going to be more money spent, because they know there's certain things that when you're talking to your doctor will say, hey, maybe we put this test in for you, but the mandatory may be a waste of taxpayer money. And even with the false reads, I was telling her, even with the false reads, if y'all say it's a recommendation, my thing was the PED, because we have problems with PED in the Army. And she was like, yeah, it's another issue too.
What is PED again?
Why don't they recruit women like they should? Somebody was saying since Donald Trump has been in office, certain positions women don't get. And I know I put in the chat, I say there ain't no excuse. If you're born a dude, you have so many opportunities regardless of who is in office. A dude that,
Interesting, because we're talking about the testosterone. We could talk about that right after.
What is a PED, Pen? Performance enhancing drugs.
So
I asked somebody in the medical, so what's going on?
So there are a couple of issues that you guys pointed out. You're correct. Testosterone levels are what we call diurnal. They tend to be higher in the morning than other times of the day, necessitating the blood test to typically be drawn before 10 or 11 in the morning. Most labs open at 7:30 or 8, so it's a really confined window. Current protocols in terms of treatment or starting treatment for testosterone replacement therapy do not include a single test. You have to have it repeated. So once it's repeated and confirmed that it's low, it's treated. This is an area, though, in medicine where we actually have more information in women than we do in men, simply because of the controversies with hormone replacement therapy with women. We have a much better idea in terms of when it's more appropriate to give estrogen in women than in men.
Oh, and she did bring that up too. I got another thing. She brought up, for us, it may be a little different. For the ones you got these colonels and 1-stars when they go through menopause. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's just been studied better. It's just one of those things that's worked out, because in the past, universally, it was thought that hormone replacement therapy for women was universally a good thing. And we're kind of in that phase right now with men. We don't know the long-term outcomes. So to answer your question, Florida, we don't know long-term outcomes in terms of testosterone replacement therapy. Specifically, the effects on the cardiovascular system. When you're getting testosterone replacement therapy, it can cause something called erythrocytosis. It can increase the number or the thickness of your blood. That thickness can lead to strokes. It can also heart attacks. There's also a component where if you have a testosterone sensitive prostate, will that accelerate prostate cancer? So it's not necessarily advocating for health. It's a huge unknown. It's just something we just don't know the answer to. One side of me says, if this is going to be done, and apparently it's going to be done, because if the test is there, I can tell you, if the test is there and it's abnormal, it's really hard for people to stare at an abnormal test and not do anything. So us a lot more information in terms of what to do with testosterone replacement in long term. But
and I think that you're in the medical
And
field.
women though, and that's been around for years. You see what I'm saying? That kind of stuff, women, on this side, they do benefit from that because for whatever reason it's studied in estrogen and all that other stuff. I guess if you're trying to have kids and all that, but if you're trying to build muscle or something like that, that's not going to help you at all. It's not, it does, it can, and benefit you in some ways, but I can understand where men are coming from because that is a chemical that also can help fortify bones and all of this, and that's why dudes generally don't have stuff like osteoporosis and stuff like that. So there are some benefits to fortifying your bones. That is a fact because, my dude said at the end of the day, if the military does this kind of stuff, do not force it on people because you do not know the medical side effects on everybody. You may have a baseline, like he said, of what it can do, heart attacks and all that other kind of stuff. But what about each individual person? Regardless of what you're trying to do, have blood work done. Like if you want to eat right, go see a nutritionist and people that can help you narrow down. Like I see a nutritionist so that I know all the food that I eat is actually metabolizing into my body properly. I'm not going to buy something and it's not feeding me, right? I want something that's going to fuel me and that kind of stuff. So yeah, get blood work done. You got to have it. You got to have that blood work done. Not just one test a year. That's not going to work. Sorry, guys. Got to do more than one test.
You're good. So Ed, I take it you're a medical professional of some sort. Is that fair to assume?
I'll say I'm working out here.
Okay. So, like my understanding from like the guys that I know that actually do take the TRT and the peptides and shit like that, like there are some men who are like using this under the like thin veil of medical professionals where they'll just take a couple of tests, get some sort of confirmed like low level testosterone readings, like depending on their age, maybe somewhere in like the 350 to 500 range, right? And then like all of a sudden get a nurse to just sign off on like a ton of TRT that pushes them up into like the top 10, top 15 percentiles, like 850 to 1,000 all of a sudden. And it's like, it seems like if you're going to be going from one low end of the extreme to the other high end of the extreme, and you need the TRT like on a regular basis in order to maintain these levels, right? Because like my understanding is that like they need to be doing these several times a year in order to like maintain the levels, because it's not like the TRT is permanent, so they have to continuously be doing it. If you're going from one end of the extreme to the other, then those side effects, those negative risks that you're talking about are probably much more common than if you just like go to a more reasonable, like slowly maintaining or increasing your testosterone level over time. Like, but I hear what you're saying, and my assumption is that like with the advice and the consent and the approval from like medical professionals in the military, that they're largely going to be looking out for these soldiers' best interests. Now, like maybe that's just me being like overly optimistic, but that would be my hope, right? That these people are doing this shit reasonably.
Let me rephrase what I was about to say differently. What I was trying to say is, and this parallels along with what I was hinting at with women, is what if it's more healthy in the long run for a large or majority of men to let their testosterone go down rather than replace it? What if? It's just a question, because we don't know the answer to that. That's my whole point. We don't know.
We know testosterone helps maintain muscle mass. It helps maintain healthy bone structure.
I feel like you're not following.
My question is, if testosterone that is made in a lab, someone was saying it may not be at the molecular level like your natural testosterone. So how close is this stuff that's made in a lab? How close is it to your actual natural, what is produced? Because if there are some problems and it's not the exact science of what your body produces. A medical doctor said they can also cause problems. Same thing with estrogen. Is it the same molecular structure? Does that make sense to y'all? Because if that's a problem, you have something made in a lab, not made by God. So if you can get something as closest to what God made, still not the same. It needs to be the exact replica structure of testosterone, the exact replica structure. Does that make sense to everybody? Because then you have an exact science, and now you know, okay, this.
Like a jungle sometimes.
I know what he's talking about. You know,
So English. You know, they had their culture when they spoke English.
But you know what I mean by like the man boys and shit. Like you got the man boys and then that antisocial aspect I'm talking about. Like bro, back in the day, I don't give a fuck, bro. You can be on the last fucking level of Zelda or fucking just about to be Goro, and then your mom come in like going to Dairy Queen. I got your friends who about to go to Dairy Queen, bro. You can drop that shit right then and there. Like I'll try to say that shit and shit.
Yes, sir. Did you guys talk about the topic yet? Did you guys come to a conclusion about this topic?
That's what he's saying.
I don't think that it's racist. I don't think that it's racist because I'll tell you why. I don't think that it's racist because
Girl gonna tell you why. Listen up to baby girl. She's gonna tell you the truth of the earth.
Actors and actresses chemistry.
Baby girl.
And I think that you're dealing with like fake stories and fake stories. It's a perfect opportunity. Even real stories, you know. Like, it's okay if there's gonna be an actor or actress that is just gonna do the part great and get real good chemistry with the other person. I think that has nothing to do with racism. Has to do with, you know, isn't that the goal of being a producer?
Yeah, I take it back. It's not racist. It just doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
Because hire anybody who's white.
Well, I mean, why don't you just, like, don't you want somebody to do the best job possible? Try.
Yeah, you can find one. I like Bieber. I thought so Bieber. You know, I promise it wasn't the reason why they hired the black lady, because she did the best job possible. But Bieber, the character is going to see the most beautiful in the world that can want to thousand Bieber or like beautiful Bieber.
Exactly, that's why she has to be black.
Okay. And that's exactly why she needs to be beautiful. I mean, black. It's because she's beautiful.
That's what I'm saying.
No, being black, she has to be beautiful. Being beautiful. You're not being completed. Nyong'o was a 10. Beaver. Oh, absolutely not. So then what's your criteria as a 10? Beaver. White. That's what I'm saying. Just say that. No, there can be black beauties. Yeah, no, I'll say that one. I'll say so I'm asking two Caucasian males what black beauty is, and I'm very interested because my natural assumption is, you know what? Never mind, go ahead. Taking that back in the day. There we go. Beaver, I heard enough from you. The ancient. You didn't know, just said the rock. Wait, you said the rock? Something else. The show with the rock that had that black agent. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
But Beaver,
these are light-skinned women.
You don't like the choice? You don't like the choice?
It doesn't fit the story.
It's logical. It's a fake story. It could change. It's a story. It could be a modern interpretation to be more representative of us today. What do you mean, no, please? That's what a white man would say.
You want to name another you have problems.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Listen, I had to just complain to my niece wanted this stupid toy for her birthday. These Sunny Angel Hippers, okay? And I'm going through them to buy them. They're like $23 each. They're a piece of plastic 2 inches tall. And I'm looking through these things and I'm like, I don't see any other color than a white angel. They're all white, all of them. And so I told her I wasn't buying them. And I messaged that company and I said, there are little girls around the world that want to get these toys and collect them, and they would love to see them represented in the little angels. And it's representation. It's representation. Imagine. But do you know what it, well, I know my niece doesn't care. No, because
So don't say it's a little girl. She doesn't care.
well, it's, yeah, little girls.
You a big girl.
Sometimes.
Don't be one of these people thinking you're a little girl when you're a female. That's
My point, I'm not saying that it's ego. I'm saying that there are little girls that collect these little toys. It would look nice to see a toy that looks like you.
because of your bias.
I absolutely told her no. And I explained it to her. And I told her and I said, I'll buy you I said there are other toy companies that are loving enough for little girls to see them, to be able to see themselves in the toys that they play with, and we can choose any one of those companies.
It ain't about. See, don't see this is a perfect example, and I'm not throwing knock you, but I mean this is a perfect example of why so much shit sucks now. Because like it's not that man, little girl, it's your projection. You're sucking the blood out of fucking blood. Like literally just coming in and vacuuming the blood out of the whole thing because of your idea of how things should be.
You know, that's great. It's good. That's a good point. I had to sit with it for a while. I had to sit with it, and I wanted to decide what I was going to do. Whether I was going to tell her the reason that I was not going to get her that and get her other things, and I thought, no, I think it's a good time to start. And she was very mature about it, and she didn't have a problem with it, and she got a bunch of other stuff. I got her.
Of course not. Because it's your money, and you're the cool auntie. So it's like, yeah, but do you know what you just introduced? You introduced that thought into that child. Like when I was a kid, I didn't give 2 fucks that majority of the G.I. Joes were white.
Yo, I didn't even think about that.
There was one black guy. He was bald.
Weren't they green black?
No, he's talking about Army.
But it was that white.
Army men. We talking about G.I. We talking about G.I. motherfucking Joes. And G.I. Joes, majority of the motherfuckers had helmets on, so you couldn't even see their face.
Right, Blake,
Majority of them were white.
Is going to be anecdotal because personally Blake didn't care, but you can come up with a sentence.
Man, most of the niggas, look, when we was kids, bro, we called them mans. All the little
sure, I agree, Blake, but your society just slightly has to update a manufacturing plant.
Okay, Jason, hold on, Jason. So how old is your niece, Viva? The one that you didn't buy a toy for?
I didn't buy that toy from that company.
How old is she?
Old enough.
Okay, so she's 5 years old. Jason, how many
she's not 5. She's 10.
So how many 10-year-olds do you think really know and care about racism, Jason? To your point.
They don't.
They don't, bro. So Jason, don't push this.
Sorry. I was adjusting my mind.
I think 5-year-olds absolutely care about racism, but are they going to use language like "I care about racism"? Absolutely not.
Yo, are you crazy?
Let's go, Jason.
This is really sick. Do you think white boys didn't go out and practice a crossover like Allen Iverson because he's black, or didn't pretend they were Michael Jordan?
Y'all couldn't do it.
Or rap?
We could not do it. We tried though.
Wait, don't pretend.
I mean, wait, hold up. Wait. We talking about this, right? Wait. Let me get up. Let me get up in this conversation just real quick, right? So you're telling me that So look, listen, when it comes to like guys with handles, yeah, it's gonna be majority black, but let's not act like fucking Pistol Pete Maravich, right? When they didn't even have the option for the crossover, like he was a bacon defender, bro.
No, let's not
act like Bob Cousy was not fucking.
Let's not forget when the three-point line got initiated.
Kids didn't know about Bob Cousy and Pistol Pete, and the majority they see Allen Iverson crossing up Jordan on TV, and they're like, I want to be like Mike. I want to be like Allen Iverson. I want to wear number 3.
No, I get that. I'm just saying my point.
Supplements and keep their iron. Even if you're eating like I do, you may not get enough iron specifically in your diet. This is specifically for women. Sometimes can be affected for various reasons, and so that was also explained. But yeah, I'm glad I see a specialist because it's been helpful for my life, and I feel better too because of it.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the clip, y'all.
Donald Trump investigated crisis around the midterms. The president set the table last night, and hey, his administration announced it is taking action, a crucial step towards his goal to overhaul American elections. In Trump's primetime address last night, he claimed the nation's election security falls catastrophically short and that his purpose was not to weaken confidence. His remarks lacked relevant evidence, however. Most of the information revealed was already previously known, and ultimately none of it suggests that previous...
Jason.
Jason Williams is black. He just got a skin pigmentation.
Hey, Jason is different, bro. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. He crossed up my guy Gary Payton. Gary Payton tried to trip his ass.
Is that no look pass for me?
So, anyways, my point is, I didn't care. Like, I wanted to emulate black athletes and white athletes. This 10-year-old girl, the niece or whoever,
Yes, but
she really went to the toy, and her aunt is being selfish because of her aunt's own hang-ups or the toy she wants, and now she's going to be disappointed on her birthday or whatever occasion it is.
So, first of all, white people saying that, right, it's not going to have the same effect for you because everything that you see is white. So you
just named things that were white.
Hold on, that's not my point. Those are the exceptions, you understand? Hollywood, everything else is white dominant.
And what about the damn toy? What's up about Hollywood?
Well, then, wait a second. I'm talking about everything. Everything is white dominant. So when you see a different, that's exciting. Yeah, because you're already been represented. You already have that. You're able to build that self-esteem. I'm saying that what my niece just did was she sacrificed playing with a dumb toy from a dumb company, okay, that doesn't want to represent children and have little girls see themselves and feel represented and build their identity and feel like they have belonging and grow healthy social development.
You robbed her innocent childhood joy because of your political ideology.
And whites have to suffer a little bit. Wait a second. Let me get it out. Whites have to suffer a little bit in order for us to level the playing field and let everybody understand that we have to get rid of systemic racism.
So you made
this is how we do it. No, first of all, she does not suffer. Okay, I got her $430 worth of gift. It was $420 everything paid for. Okay, no, but she got a bunch of other stuff. She got $120 worth of Hannah Montana Color Pop. The whole entire. I got she got 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 Jelly Cats. That's $127 right there. I got her 12 squishies. I got her Rebel doll. A blind box. I got her everything she wanted. This is my point. She is going to enjoy her birthday, and she's going to be so happy. And she's also fighting systemic racism, which I mean, like that. She's a powerhouse. This bitch is growing up, and
this
she's
is
like,
right here. This is a cancer.
No. This is a white girl that is going to fight.
Wait, she's white?
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
My little white niece is going to grow up, and she is going to help end systemic racism. We are anti-racist. We don't just say, I'm not racist. No. We fucking fight your favorite.
Y'all Beaver's PTR right now.
That's how we do it.
Hey, Bima, and look, more power to you. It's your money. You can vote with your money the way you want to vote. But we're genuinely trying to get across to you is this is actually the cancer of our day. Y'all too busy focused on trying to get kids woken up to shit that they don't need to be woken up to. Let these fucking kids be kids. Because like I said, I use the G.I. Joe analogy because it's indicative of like real reality. You say representation. But the truth of the matter is they had one nigga G.I. Joe. You know why? Because in real life, it ain't too many niggas finna get down and do the crazy shit that Duke and them doing. Most of the niggas is like, you know what, man?
Yeah, we not trying to do anything for real.
Hey, bro. No. Like, real niggas is gonna be like, bro, I'm gonna just join the regular army. I'm not gonna get down for the shows. Like, yeah, we trying to get the regular army.
Retirement, nigga.
Yeah, we gonna put G.I. Jones and doing these niggas are doing like fucking
shit for real.
Yeah, extraordinary missions going against a fucking bad guy snake. Like, the point is, it's goofy, it's fun, and kids don't give a fuck. And I guarantee you, that young lady would have had, you can spend $1,000, but that girl would have had more fun with those stupid little white girl engines at the end of the day. And you just came through and sucked out the fun because you're a social justice warrior.
That's okay.
And we
has happened.
We don't. It's too many bitches. No, it doesn't. It's happening, and you're ruining everything. That's what I'm saying.
That's what you think. That's what you think. But
No,
you know what?
that's what I
Hold on.
know.
That's what you think. But tell that. But Blake, tell that to the overwhelming psychological. And hold on, just wait a
They
second.
already got black Barbies. Look, they already got black Barbies.
But that's not what we're talking about. And she has black Barbies. I did get her black Barbie. I got her the black Barbie, the black penguin Barbie. You could even look it up right now. Barbie with the penguin. She was a National Geographic Barbie. I do. When I get her Barbies, I also get her black Barbies. I
She gave her white niece the black National Geographic.
Oh, yes, I fucking did. Yes, I did. I get her black dolls. I get her black Barbie.
What we doing, Biba?
Oh,
What the fuck we doing? You gave your white ass baby a fucking black Barbie for what? Cultural appropriation?
And you know what though? You know what though? She was happy with it. She was happy because
I bet she was happy to see it black. So Bima, are we for real?
And listen, she loved it.
That's serious, bro. She did that.
It's across the wall.
Bro,
no, she loved it.
Bro, it goes to show you, bro, like, it has been this way for the, look, it's called the Eve syndrome, bro. Eve comes through and want to fuck up all innocence, bro. I just want to fuck you in the woods, in this tropical fucking paradise, and you want to come in and make everything real. You want to make every fucking thing real. We'll get to real. Real will happen no matter if you force it or not. But you gotta force it. You have to. Girls are always the first motherfucker they want to introduce you to. When you're a kid, boys don't even give a shit about girls, to be honest, bro. When you're like at before puberty, we get two shits about girls, and y'all come around and force it and manipulate the whole like, no, we're going through puberty right now, so you should have to deal with it too. So you're gonna deal with our shitty attitudes, and you're gonna have to fucking get real and stop being obnoxious little boys. And it's like, dude, just fucking go away, man.
Wait.
It's fucking sacred.
Blake, and let me get this out before I get interrupted. You're just arguing against the biological norm there. You can't call that a social norm, because that's happening all over the world, all over the girls maturing intellectually quicker than men, and then telling them to catch up.
And they want us to suffer for it.
But that's dude, when you use rhetoric like they want us to suffer for it, you're like describing a dance of the peacock. This is nature, this is reality.
Yeah. I get you, man. I'm just
right.
I like Daisy. But I mean, it's a funny. I'm saying it's a funny dance that we go through in life, and all I'm saying is, as a parent, it is best that you try to allow your children to mature, to be mature, but you don't want to force them into being looking at life through the lens of an adult. Because the moment they do, bro, that's the moment the clock starts moving back.
I deeply agree. I live in Brooklyn. I would never raise a family in Brooklyn or New York City because I see the kids here at 11, 12, and 13, and they've seen so much more and experienced so.
Hi, my day is going good. I'm finishing up my skincare routine. Hi, my day is going good. I'm finishing up my skincare routine.
Hey, Monica, sweet dreams. I couldn't tell what you said. You were finishing up your nails? Well, hope you had a good night, and I'll talk to you soon.
Or who they was fucking, have them chop up Duke. That's what I'm saying. Like, the kids don't give a shit, bro. Like, them have their stupid little things.
You cut out for your last 15 seconds. Repeat it again.
No, I was just saying, like, back in the day, we did have representation. We had two Asian guys, and they were fucking ninjas. The two ninjas. They had those snake guys.
It was only one.
Yeah, snake guys. What about the other Asian?
Well, that was the bad ninja.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They both was Asian. They was two Asian niggas. We had one bald head nigga. We had Sergeant Slaughter was. I think he was Mexican or something. But I'm just saying, like, bro, like it didn't matter. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, we already had the A-team. Blade was black.
But you're not saying that was a bad thing, right?
No, I'm not saying it's a bad. I'm saying it didn't really matter.
But maybe to some even so. Then this is where society has to decide how emotional it is versus how functional it is. If it's strictly just about the profit, then yeah, maybe something like 71% of America is Caucasian. Make at least 7 out of the 10 GI Joes white, but maybe you just make it 9 or 10 out of the 10 because like you don't want to create new dyes at your factory and have different manufacturing processes for the platform. But then that's kind of a cold society a little bit if it's always cutting corners like that and just chasing profit incentives and doesn't really care about the minority.
Is militarization. He's introducing fear. He is limiting access to the ballot for people who should be legitimately and constitutionally allowed to vote. So the entire election conversation is
disenfranchisement, unconstitutional disenfranchisement.
Yes, and that
impeachment charges are rather very serious.
Well, I mean, the last two impeachment charges didn't stick either. So, there's not a great record of Trump. The obstacle is that Trump has had a majority in Congress and people willing to do a lot of the dirty work. I mean, literally, January 6th was an effort to interrupt. January 6th was an effort to interrupt the acceptance of the election and potentially hanging of the vice president, right? So we completely forget that this is all that has everything to do with the fact that Trump has created an environment and a dynamic that is the lens of looking through voting. And that is the only lens now that Trump and his administration are looking at, as opposed to what anybody rational who works and lives in a community is like, this is not the problem we have right now. The problem we have right now is household prices. We have student loan issues. We have access issues. We have a war in Iran that nobody, even Congress, has voted on. But again, Trump is excellent at creating fear and red herrings to distract the American public.
Are you scared to vote?
If there are armed police, if there are armed groups, yes, it is scary for people to vote. There is a history of voter intimidation in our country.
So the answer is no. You're not scared.
Okay, so as a Muslim woman with brown skin and a black family, absolutely, Trump has created an intimidating environment for
You're
me,
scared to vote.
for me and my family. If you needed to hear that,
No, I'm asking you if you're scared to vote because I don't think that
I'm telling you, yes, very scared.
A majority of Democrats didn't think that. Yeah, but that's my point. We're trying to see increase of voter participation, despite the fact that we're being told that all these things are happening to ballot. Maybe your experience. Based on the voting results.
People voting in numbers is a sign of their resilience. The black community's ability to continually turn out to vote ever since they were granted the right to vote, despite poll taxes, intimidation, and violence, is about resilience. That's not an example of the Trump operation.
Don't vote. People don't vote because they're satisfied.
To the point.
Not because they're intimidated. I mean, we can't know what every individual motive is, and to make a generalization is just wild speculation.
People vote because they participate and believe that participating in an election is valuable, right?
Sure.
So intimidating that is a problem. Now, if you guys feel, as you white guys, feel very comfortable with other white guys standing with assault weapons at a polling station, that's great. Like, voter intimidation has a long history in the Republican Party.
Constitutional practice is very serious.
Absolutely.
All the way to the
Yes, there are several.
They're going to be effective.
My dear, if you are denying the history of voter intimidation in the United States right now, that is a
very serious
alternate reality.
Norm, that's your cousin. That dude they keep interrupting, he's Jewish. Any comments, y'all? Okay.
There is voter intimidation. Noah, there is voter intimidation in counties around the country. The Department of Justice has recognized this for many years as the Civil Rights Act.
And that's on the books. And if you're alleging a violation of that, I do hope to prosecute it because that will be very serious. I have substantiation of that claim.
There have been several voter intimidation cases on the state level, if you just might aware.
All right, we're going to stop a bit next. The seventh consecutive night of U.S. strikes in Iran, and an Iranian official issues a warning saying the U.S. is risking a, quote, full-scale offensive. What does that mean, and what's the president's endgame with this war? Plus, DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen says he's turning the heat up on the streets.
No comment before they go into this Iran and Mark Mullen. Yep. All right. Voter intimidation over.
When it comes to ICE operations, and in Houston, there is some new wave of air strikes against Iran, marking 7 straight days of strikes. U.S. Central Command releasing these videos of those strikes. It comes after Tehran fired what appeared to be its largest round of attacks since peace talks collapsed, targeting U.S. allies including Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan. The top Iranian military advisor warned the U.S. could face a full-scale offensive in the coming days if its barrage continues throughout the weekend, claiming that no political border will be secured against that offensive. Iran also says the U.S. launched deadly strikes on bridges, railways, and power lines. CNN cannot independently verify Iran's claims. It's true that could be the precursor to the U.S. seizing the Strait of Hormuz from Tehran. But the White House has maintained that the military does not strike civilian infrastructure, which would be illegal under international law. Here, I'm going to start with you. We are back into a full-scale offensive that's happening here, and it has gone on for a while. Iran seems to have a new power in that it has figured out the Strait of Hormuz is now more powerful right now than its nuclear program. What do you see happening at the end here as we are trading back and forth and ultimately to the whole table? Do you think eventually this is actually going to degrade Iran's power because other nations are starting to figure out how to get oil out of the strait and away from the strait and starting to build infrastructure elsewhere?
Well, that's because other countries, even the United States, have to look for alternative measures. That's the point. That's just the reality, economic reality we're all facing. But Iran has been consistently resilient. This is part of why presidents from George Bush through until Trump have voted against striking Iran directly because Iran is not Irish.
being that cares about how much people suffer. So you can win battles, you can destroy cities. You're not, at this moment, winning the war, right? What does victory look like? It has not only not been declared or understood for this Trump administration, but it's created a dynamic where Iran is able to attack U.S. assets, attack U.S. allies using cheap drones. And the United States is losing multi-million-dollar fighter jets, Tomahawk missiles. It is the weirdest asymmetrical war, when typically asymmetrical war would be about different resources or different spheres of influence. And this as well, literally, they are defending their land. The regime is intact. It is in some ways even stronger because there's a tighter, it is younger now, it is more motivated. They have main character revenge at this point. The people of Iran continue to suffer. So this is part of the challenge. We've seen this quagmire before. I experienced it when I was in the Pentagon and the State Department as a diplomat, and that is the quagmire of a ground war in the Middle East and Asia.
Now, are you worried that when you're looking at what's happening, since we are back at it again, and this is always going to be complicated, and I think everyone, if you look at history, knew that that would be the case. When you look at this, are we in a quagmire? Are you worried about a very long, drawn-out war, or do you think there is some chance that there's going to be a peace negotiation that starts again because of all of these strikes?
Well, I think there will be a peace negotiation that starts again. I don't know what drawn out means. I don't know what the time scale is on this. I'm pleased to see the president resume high-tempo combat operations. Tonight is the seventh night of hundreds of stories that were fought on a daily basis. And the Iranian regime saying, well, just do this one more time and we're going to execute this regional attack strategy. What you want on? Is they have the capability to execute it. One of the things that we've been doing is interdicting these missile sites, drone capabilities, what have you, interfering with their capacity to execute offensive operations. One of the fears, I think, was that creating with the resumption of hostilities would execute new strikes of destabilization plans, energy infrastructure, oil infrastructure, around both everything at zero, enforce this market negotiating on the fronts we have. Do that. Look at that. It's lost a lot of that capability. We're gradually taking it away. Final engineering. We're not talking about nuclear programming. We're talking about the damage we absorb. A $500 million nuclear program is that's a generational investment. We can't just be recouped tomorrow. We lost it by years. Drones, but there is no comparison.
There is nothing evidence to indicate that the nuclear program is demolished. The Fordo attack, there was actually no evidence that it resulted in eliminating Iran's capability to come back to the nuclear program. In fact, so my friend, I worked in the United Nations under this in the U.S. government on the Iran nuclear deal, and so I understand the intricacies, and I also understand intimately what happened when Trump unilaterally pulled out of that. The deal collapsed, and then come around this time, this round of negotiation, it's not even a deal. He signed a memorandum of understanding that gave away the farm to Iran in terms of assets and money, and there was not a single thing, and there's not a single thing in there that said anything about Iran's nuclear program. So I agree with you, the Iran nuclear program is not even talking anymore. They have very little like they're highly enriched uraniums, likely moved out to Russia because the United States did not actually have eyes on the ground, and any follow through plan. Here's a challenge that we have. Are you going to allow me to finish the sentence? Right?
Just play your play.
Are you going to allow me to finish the sentence? Thank you. So, we do not have evidence that Iran's nuclear program has been destroyed or eliminated. The thinking, the research, and the capabilities are still intact. Trump has actually not been following that line of thinking either. In all of the targeted attacks, in any of the discussions, nuclear is not on the table right now. Right? So what is the end game for the Trump administration? What we heard it was not to do forever wars. And that the closer that we got to the midterm elections, all sorts of Republicans and Trump administration officials said, oh no, this will be done in 2 days. This will be done in a week. It is not only not done, it has resumed. So the high-tempo combat operations have serious implications, not only for the American economy, but for our men and women who are operating now in the Middle East on war footing with a war that has not actively been approved by the American public or Congress.
Well, we were also told that this would last a few
few weeks when I suggested and others suggested that this could last leading up to the midterm elections. Republicans would tell us there is no way that Trump would let us get that far. This is all about the nuclear program. He first told us he obliterated it. He did not obliterate it. He has lied to us every step of the way. Prices have gone up because of it. And now we're in a situation where this is heading to a forever war. This is going to be something that it will be an issue in the presidential election. There is no plan to end it. And whoever is running for president is going to have to end up cleaning this up because we have it's amateur hour at the White House and with Donald Trump, and he doesn't understand why he got in this in the first place and how to get out of it. And this should be concerning to everybody. People are hurting every single day, whether it is gas prices, whether it is prices at the grocery store, all of these things. He promises no war, no forever wars. He promised us to lower prices, and he hasn't done either of that. And so I think that going into the midterm election, Republicans should be very nervous, but not only that, they should be nervous heading into 2028 because the two Republicans that they're likely going to put forward are J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, who have both been involved in this terrible war. And so this is a big stain on Donald Trump's presidency and his legacy, and I don't know when or ever if he's going to realize that.
We will have to wait and see how this all plays out, but there are some serious consequences happening right now, both to Iran and to the U.S. and world economy. We will be watching this, of course. All right, the Harris County District Attorney.
Any comments on what's going on in Iran? This MOU, this war that hasn't been approved by Congress, and we're past the 90 days.
So, I'd like to comment. He's going to claim that he stopped it and started it, so that starts the clock over as of this week, 7 days ago, I guess. That's number one. Number two, the MOU is not a binding agreement. He knows that because he uses them in real estate. So he got one over on the IRGC, the the Islamic Revolutionary Genocide Corps. He pulled a fast one on them because he was being as dishonest as they were. Number three, they underestimated his ego. They pissed him off, and now he's going to crush him. That's what he's doing. He's inflicting massive damage on them with relatively few returning casualties. Every life is extremely precious, but this is relatively few. The under 20, or up to 20, the precious lives that we've lost. So I don't think he's doing badly. He's been planning to do this since the 80s. He's been talking about it. The U.S. has been talking about doing it since the 80s. And as I've said before, he's the guy that had the guts to do it, and he seems like he's determined to make this effective. By the way, Israel just revealed today a special anti-drone system, because as somebody said much earlier, the nature of warfare has been changing. And one big way they've been changing is with drones. And Israel revealed a new system called hypnosis to screw up the navigation systems of the drone. I don't know if this system addresses the fiber optic cable driven drones, which are a special category, which have a less high profile navigation system, and has left northern Israel towns and Ukrainian towns like crisscrossed with what look like spider webs of fiber optic cables. And they seem to be run, there's a word for them, I'm forgetting it now. They're single operator drones, where the operator has a video feed as well. So they're not run by themselves. So anyway, leave it to Israel. Congrats to them to address this problem quickly, because it's a huge problem trying to shoot down $10,000 drones with $1 million missiles. We're addressing that right now. I think this regime is on its last legs. I think they're floundering. They barely know who's in charge. They're going through major power struggles over there, as would happen after disruption. So I think the right thing to do is to keep them blockaded and to keep knocking the hell out of them. I think that's the way to defeat the enemy.
I'd like to get in very quickly and say one or two things. When I listen to those commentators in the sound clip that you just played, I'm reminded that some people hate Trump so much that completely affects their analysis. Those people who we heard hate Trump so much that they're rooting for the U.S. to lose in this war. And that's a reality. I think that Trump did a calculation. I mean, one thing you have to ask yourself is why doesn't Iran just chill? You know, why doesn't Iran, stop firing the drones, stop firing the rockets? They're sustaining billions of dollars of damage every night. What is driving Iran right now to keep the war going? Why not stop shooting at all their neighbors, and then the U.S. will look bad, and the U.S. will have to back down? That's a question for the room. I guess the other thing I want to observe is that Trump has done the calculation that at this point, if he stops responding to Iranian attacks, it'll look like Iran won the war, and that is not a good look for the U.S. I said it earlier. China and Russia will say, "Oh, the U.S. has no stomach for war anymore. They can't handle a few casualties. So now's the time to do all the other things that we want to do." I'm guessing that even if it's Trump himself who doesn't want the war, I'm guessing that the generals and the Pentagon, the people around him, are telling, "Look, you cannot let it appear that Iran is winning the war." So I return to my earlier question: is why doesn't Iran just chill and go back to what they were doing before, which is funding proxies, funding Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi, running their war through third parties, and chill, and they won't be sustaining $1 billion of damage every night? And I really don't know the answer. The only thing I can guess is that either A, they think they're going to win, or B, they're true believers and they want to be martyrs, and they're willing to sacrifice all these people and infrastructure for their mission. And I'm curious to hear other people's view of why Iran doesn't step down and chill. Thank you.
I have no idea. But I do have a question. How do you propose we win this war?
By doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Knocking them relentlessly.
And eventually, finding the right opposition in country and getting them weapons somehow, whether it's through special forces, through Green Berets. I think we probably have some secret troops on the ground right now. There has to be somebody that we can give guns to who can go and fight the IRGC on the ground. I mean, it's a combination.
Looks like we're prepared to take Clark Island. That's what it looks like we're doing right now. Which is obviously the center of their oil export. And that'll destroy their economy, which is already hugely destroyed, even further. And by the way, without money and without arms, and now that they're on their back foot, Randy, I think they're in a much weaker position to supply their property, like Hezbollah and the Houthis.
Well, why doesn't Iran just, I can't come up with a better word than chill. Why don't they just cut back and lay low for like a month?
They are arrogant and delusional. And in this, they have certain of the same qualities as Trump.
You think they're delusional?
Well, yeah.
I think they're smart as a fox. I just don't get it.
They're smart in some ways and crazy in others.
Well, there must be something else going on. I don't get it.
They're driven by arrogance and ego.
There's something else going on. I really believe it.
But you think they're holding some secret weapon that they're going to roll out?
I don't know what it is. I think that they have done the calculations. They think that Trump has to stop very soon in order to win the midterm elections. They think that they can outlast them, I guess.
They sense ambivalence on our part to fight. And that's not helped, of course, by one of the political parties constantly hanging crepe, and nor is it helped by Trump's imminent midterms.
I guess they think that they can survive 3 more years of Trump. and that the next president will be a Democrat. I mean, they're banking on it. I mean, during the first Trump administration, you had John Kerry and other people advising Iran, like, just hang in there. Trump is a one-term president. And that's what they did.
I'd say illegally advising Iran.
Yeah, right. But he was doing it either way, illegal or not.
Okay, now
Go ahead, guys. I'm going to mute up. Thanks for letting me speak, and I'd love to hear from other.
I don't even understand. I don't understand. I don't understand your comment about giving the Iranian civilians weapons. I don't understand your comment about John Kerry when he was one of the key negotiators. I just don't understand none of this.
This is when he was out of office.
Yeah, when Trump was president during his first Trump term, I think that Kerry had communications on the side with Iran, telling them, "Don't worry about Trump." I think that he had private communications as a private citizen.
What do you think? Or is this what you know? Hello?
I believe I remember reading about it. We could go pull it up.
What I think. He said, "This is what I think." And then I don't know why y'all think that taking over that island is just going to be a bunch of bombs. And y'all, what's going on here, man?
Well, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think giving civilians weapons is a good idea.
You don't think arming an opposition is a good idea?
No, I don't.
Okay. It's what we do. It's what we do sometimes.
What happened in Kosovo when we did that in Kosovo?
Well, each war is different. They don't, what didn't work in Kosovo might work here.
It didn't work in the Nicaraguan revolution. Didn't work in Kosovo. It didn't work in Iraq. It didn't work in the Soviet-Afghan war. It's never fucking worked.
Okay.
That's how we got the Taliban. That's how we got ISIS. Y'all be playing too much. It's called lessons learned. We cannot do shit like that. This is not a good idea. We've seen what happened in the past, so we think that it's just going to change if we give Iranians weapons. When we know that there's people that still support the government.
Yeah, but what do you think it is? 10, 20, 30% who support the government? I don't think it's a majority.
20% is more than enough. A majority did not support an Iraq, but we end up with ISIS. A majority did not support. Come on, man. We got to be honest. There is no unified opposition when it comes to what Iran. There isn't.
Unified is one thing, but, funding a bunch of militias, whether they're unified or not, all they have to do is take up the IRGC.
Oh, my God, bro.
All right. Listen, I'm just thinking out loud here. Don't,
No, there's nothing wrong with that. It's nice to hear, but it's not a good idea.
Okay.
It's not going to work, Randy. I'm sorry, babe. But go ahead, Ed.
All right. So why do you think, I respect your opinion, why do you think Iran doesn't just chill out and lower its, just stop the bombing and stop bombing U.S. bases and just say to the U.S., we stand down? Why do you think they're not standing down?
Because I think I don't fuck with the IRGC. I don't fuck with their government. But just like Trump, these people are in charge of a government, or of a nation, of a sovereign country. So when they don't want to look weak to their people, just like Trump doesn't want to look weak to his.
I see. So
somebody's going to have to give in. And to be honest with you, even us going into Iran, they already know what it's going to look like, or they have predicted what it would look like globally as well as for us at home.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Ed. I think Ed wanted to say something.
No, I was going to say exactly what you were about to say. I really don't see a way for either party to quote unquote save face and get out of this easily. Both parties are entrenched. Trump doesn't want to look like he's losing anything, and IRGC doesn't want to look like it. Realistically, or I should say El Norm's idea about just air air bombardments indefinitely. That doesn't seem like a winning strategy based on historical precedent.
That's not the plan, Ed. Or that's not my strategy.
In any case, so I don't see an easy end to this until we have a new president, to be honest.
Right. We shouldn't have went into this war. And now somebody's got to be the bigger person and bow down and get out.
Yeah.
No, I think the goal is victory, actually.
If the U.S. is the one to get out, then we're telling Russia and China, hey, we no longer are going to be, you don't have to worry about us anymore.
Then they never should have done it in the first place.
Incorrect.
But they did.
We should do it and win.
So then back down. Then back down. So wait. Then back down.
I don't think Russia and China is going to think that, right? Because even with Russia and China, our weapons systems, just like their weapon systems, are not built for asymmetrical warfare, right? We've built our military just like China has and Russia has. That's why Russia's having a hard time with Ukrainians. We've built our military for large-scale wars, for modern large-scale wars. So their generals aren't stupid. Now, if they're that dumb, then yeah, we're going to defeat the fuck out of them if we went to war. They're not dumb. They know. Let me tell you what's so bad about this whole thing. China wants somebody with the ego like Trump to stay engaged in this war. You know why? Because we moved the THAAD system out of South Korea, right? You remember that gate that we be talking about all the time? The gate with South Korea, Taiwan, Japan, Australia. We're like, they're losing sight. Not only are we losing sight, we're depleting our own fucking APS stock. Like when you deplete your stock and you're using your great expensive ass weapons on some $20,000 fucking drones, and then you're leaving it wide open for us to be fucked up. You're leaving it wide open for them to do whatever the fuck they need to do. Like, we was happy when Russia and Ukraine went to war. You know why? We got to see how Russia fight. We got to see them. You know what? That was the ongoing conversation when we used to have the political rooms back then, before we even went to war with Iran, when I would fight with people about why we should support Ukraine. Because we have got to gain intel. We have got to watch them deplete their fucking, their missile systems, their less people. We got to see how they move logistics. We got to see how weak they were, lose their equipment, all that. Like, it was a fucking, like, a party at each one of the combatant commands. Like, we would do briefs in the morning. We're like, yo, this happened, that happened. They lost this equipment, this. They're not getting food. Down this MSR on ASR red. This is what's currently happening. They would tell us this every fucking morning. And we were like, damn, them Ukrainians is tearing their ass up. It's making it easier for the United States if Russia act crazy. Do you know China's probably saying the same thing? They're probably having their morning briefs, talking about the intel, what they know we have on stock, what we have lost so far, and what it looks like for the United States. Because now we don't have fucking Patriots and fucking THAAD systems positioned in South Korea.
We will replace them before China attacks, if they attack. The whole plan is to refurbish everything. It's already in process. That's what these weapons are for. They're there to use. We're not saving them for a rainy day, Patty.
I agree, but guess what? We're not. I don't know why you think that we just make weapons overnight. It doesn't work like that. So even like when we do stupid exercises.
But I don't think that. I don't think that.
I don't want anybody to ever think that. Because I'm going to tell you, when we do little stupid exercises on phases.
Hey, why you laughing, motherfucker? Asshole bitch.
What is it?
Why you talking? Why you mean fuck?
Hey, talk. You okay? Does your mother love you?
You talk to your mother that way?
Yeah, do you talk to your mom like that? Huh? You okay?
Maybe his drugs are kicking in.
But it's not. So even when we do little exercises, right? I'm just going to give you an example, Norm. We do warfighter. And let's say we do a warfighter with a possible war with China and Taiwan and what it looks like. So during the phases, they say it'll last X amount of time. Do you know we expend so much fucking ammo and fucking missile systems that even getting replenishments, sometimes we're low on replenishment. And this is based off of intel that we get when we do our warfighter. Say Google a warfighter and it'll tell you when we do them and like maybe the last results of our warfighters. If you look them up and look at how much we lose based off of, they say from phase 1 to phase 4, when certain things trigger, what needs to be shut off. We lose so much shit that right now what we have in our own stockpile, based off of what they said on TV, we won't be ready to do anything, not with any country. So I think
for 18 months?
Bro, over 18 months. Do you know how long it takes to make a THAAD system?
Well, we have the system. We have to replenish the defense missiles.
No, we don't. We only have
what?
So we only have so many THAAD systems. I'm talking about systems for each of the countries that we need them in.
I think we're going to switch to a drone defense, actually. Yeah, we're in a new world.
No. Do you know what a THAAD is?
Yeah.
So why would you say something about a drone defense? We still need our...
Because we've been using, I believe THAAD stands for terrestrial something defense system. So we use those to shoot.
Do y'all need the Iron Dome?
Of course we need the Iron.
Do you need David Sling?
Of course we need David Sling and David Darrow.
Okay, so if y'all need that, what do you think the THAAD is for us?
Well, we use the THAAD in Israel as well.
Right, but what do you think the THAAD is for us?
I believe it's
the THAAD is for long range.
Large ballistic missiles, I agree.
Right. Okay, so the THAAD and our Patriot is for long. When you're talking about something like David Sling or fucking an Iron Dome, that's for a smaller area. We're talking about something. We're talking about China, Taiwan, and working from the Philippines or a whole nother country. You don't even, so that's why I'm like, yo, y'all think this is like easy and it sounds all good and gravy and cookies and ice cream. It's not. And this war was.
Nobody thinks that. I just think.
No, we shouldn't have never went to war.
I just think we have the
capability. And to be honest with you, I think that's a problem with our taxpayers, where money went. I think it's a problem with these fucking tax cuts. If he wanted to go to war, he should have waited. He should have at least waited after the midterms. And then on top of that, he should have said, I'm going to make a whole bunch of cheap ass missiles, some cheap ass drones, and that's what we're going to use to fight these people. Instead of fucking tax cuts, take some of that fucking money and go buy some smaller fucking cheaper systems and use those goddamn systems instead of the systems that we need to protect us from bigger fucking countries. It's dumb, El Normo. I'm sorry. But go ahead, Ed. I just think it's dumb, period. We shouldn't have went to war. We shouldn't have went to war with Iran. That's it.
I see your opinion. I mean, nobody likes war, but, I mean, he's got the intel, and he's in charge.
You're right. He's in charge. I don't even think he understands the intel. He barely knows what's in some of those bills. You've seen him on TV when people ask him about certain things, and he says, oh, that's in the bill? He said that before. So if he don't know what's in fucking bills, and we know from his previous administration that he does not take his fucking intel briefs, his executive briefs, he has someone else take it, but we know he may not know exactly what's going on.
He did very well in expunging ISIS from the Levant. If you remember, there was a caliphate that sprouted up under Obama, and Trump took it down like in 6 months without us really paying attention. He was very, very good at that, actually.
Trump did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
caliphate, which was unthinkable previously. Like, they're going to have a caliphate back? So I think what he does is I think he lets the generals do what they're best at.
He actually doesn't. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. That's why you got a lot of the combatant commanders.
Well, that's what they say that he does.
Is that why they're retiring and resigning?
Well,
explain that to me.
Make room. You mentioned this a bunch of times.
It's not about making room. Explain to me why the SMEs in the military fucking leaving.
You need to ask them. I don't have insight into their mind, and I don't make up stories.
Well, obviously, it's been coming out in the news. It's been coming out in the news that he's been fighting with his generals.
It's very clear to me, and
you have to bring every fucking 4-star, every general from 1 to 4, brigadiers.
I've listened to a dozen generals who are very enthusiastic about this.
Right, and about what, 8 years?
No. And who, they don't always agree with him, but they have an idea how to do it and what must be done. It's like we've been planning this for a long time. We know how to do this.
No.
And
You're kids. You're a kid. Oh my God.
Y'all should have left so we can talk.
I think we were just hacked by the IRGC. That's what I think that was.
Why?
They don't like our conversation.
With the
They came in.
Revolutionary Genocide Corps.
Yeah. I don't like that.
What does the IRGC know about Crips and Bloods, Randy?
About what?
Gang, motherfucker. Gang.
They're tuned into American criminal culture.
Yeah, okay. So you
The IRGC are in. They definitely have narco-terrorists in South America.
Listen to the question, Randy. What does the IRGC know about Crips and Bloods?
Listen to the answer, Arthur.
Norm, I didn't ask you. I asked Randy.
I know you didn't ask me. I don't know what they know about Crips and Bloods, but they are definitely in South America, and they are involved in narco-terrorism.
From the IRGC, why would they use Crips and Bloods? You don't know anything about it, Randy.
Do you know something about Crips and Bloods? Were those people? I mean, anyway. All right. Look, I said what I said.
Yeah, Americans are down there too. You ever seen Cocaine Cowboy?
No.
Okay, you should watch it. They got a part 1, part 2.
Yeah, the cartels are dealing with the Bloods and the Crips.
I didn't say anything about that. He said IRGC. That's what he said.
The IRGC is dealing with
He said that they were hacking with Crips and Bloods.
Yes.
Makes no sense to make that connection.
It was a bit of a joke, and it went over your head.
Elmo, nobody asked you for shit, Elmo.
They are operating. The IRGC is generating billions of dollars annually through opium, heroin, cocaine, and Captagon networks that span from Afghanistan to Latin America.
So is the Taliban, right? And so is those 500.
The Taliban is into the opium, I think, because they grow.
And so it doesn't matter. And so was the 500 fucking terrorists. The 500 terrorists that Trump had released when he had a meeting with the fucking enemy without talking to the Afghan government that we were fucking trying to. Like, come on.
I think you're changing the topic here.
No, you just brought up something. We were just talking about something.
We're talking about our backyard. We're talking about our backyard.
That's our backyard too. That's our backyard too.
So how is that responsive to what I said? I mean, you're saying you want to add to it and point out other people doing the same thing?
They're doing it in our backyard.
Right.
Who is Afghanistan? The Taliban?
So
I don't know. I don't know, but I do know. When
it comes to our national security, it's not our backyard.
Do you know about Project Cassandra? It was a DEA investigation. It was a DEA investigation that traced the conspiracy from Hezbollah and its state sponsors in Iran estimating that the IRGC and Hezbollah collected roughly $1 billion a year from drug trafficking alone. And this was not rogue activity by individual officers. It was systematic by generals, state-controlled ports, military-grade logistics, institutional complicity at the highest level. I just thought I'd put that out there. I don't have any more to share, but I'm just telling you that Iran is they're not just our enemy in the Middle East. People say, why are we fucking with Iran? What? They're not doing anything to the U.S. Their problem is with Israel. Well, they're making $1 billion a year from drug trafficking into the U.S. And if nothing else, that's $1 billion a year that American drug traffickers should be making, not Iran.
No one's disputing that they're a bad actor. What we're disputing is strategy.
Okay.
Yeah, we're also talking about the cause of the war, though. They were in Venezuela, which was another reason why we attacked Venezuela. And I mentioned this before we started the Iran war. I said Hezbollah is in Venezuela, and you guys poo-pooed it, but it's true. Anyway, he's dealing with things that other presidents have been avoiding, and they've been looking the other way from. And this is one of them.
Yeah, because he's not gonna. Life doesn't matter. Not art.
Yeah, Norm characterized the strategy.
This is the least amount of casualties in any war ever. There's never been fewer casualties that I can think of.
If we've done what we needed to do, and it was about getting rid of the uranium or whatever, and he said we've already got rid of it. So I don't even think we should have went into the country. Once he said that we got rid of the uranium, he should have moved the fuck around. Just move the fuck around.
Never gonna tell
we didn't get rid of it. We didn't get rid of the uranium.
Casualties. They will never tell you exact casualties.
But there's leak. There's leak.
You know that. And that's why Hezbollah, that hasn't been proven that they went into Venezuela. That hasn't been proven. Do you have proof that Hezbollah is in Venezuela?
We have the DEA Project Cassandra that said that they were in Latin America. You want me to check if they were in Venezuela, or you want to know what countries they were in?
Sympathize with Iran. I'm talking about Hezbollah. Are they in Venezuela? Because
Hezbollah operatives. They're supervising it.
In the United States.
They're representing the U.S. They're representing Hezbollah's interests in this drug trade.
Okay.
It's not hard to imagine.
Stop lying about the drug trade. Because if they really wanted to attack, Colombia would be the main source.
Okay.
It was about drugs. It was about oil. And in fact, Trump himself pardoned one of the biggest drug dealers during that time. There was, I forgot his name, but it was tons of drugs that was coming in the United States. So don't make it seem like that Venezuela was about drugs. It was about getting the oil. It wasn't about drugs.
The primary hub for this thing, I've looked it up, is Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay. But they have Hezbollah has established a significant presence in Latin America, listed activities and networks in at least 12 of the 20 mainland Latin American countries. So primary hubs. Okay, so now I'm looking at these are the countries where they're acting. Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Colombia, Venezuela. What does it say? Venezuela serves as a transit point for cocaine and has provided logistical support. Individuals and state-linked entities like Conviasa have been sanctioned.
The problem
There's 12 countries in Latin America where Hezbollah is operating. And there's been arrests.
The problem, Randy, is
there hasn't been any.
The president said Venezuela was involved in fentanyl.
Does that mean excluding other drugs?
I'm just saying the excuse.
Only are they one drug country?
The excuse he provided to the public was fentanyl, and there's no legitimate evidence of that.
I really don't know. I mean, I can't research every lead that's coming up, but I did just look up Hezbollah activities in Latin America, And, you may be right. I guess I could keep Googling and keep researching, but, I got to go to bed pretty soon. It's 1:15 over here. So I've done what I've done. I've enjoyed interacting with you. And, but like I said, some people hate Trump so much that even when he does something good, they can't acknowledge it. Every president has said, we are going to stop Iran from having a nuclear weapon, but nobody took the steps to do it. Trump actually took some steps. Even people who supported regime change in Iran, they hate Trump so much that they're rooting for this to fail.
So I would argue that Obama took steps.
Okay. So then, all right. What steps did he take? Remind me. I mean that totally genuine. Remind me what he did. It seemed like he was. You mean like the JCPOA?
That's correct.
Right. Okay. All right. Now we're opening up a whole other can of worms. It's late. Hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's your room. I've enjoyed this. I'm going to begin to retreat. I'm beginning to shut down for the night, but I've enjoyed it very much. I'm going to begin to shut down. Thank you.
I don't understand when people say that
It's
shit.
only 12 o'clock. Wait, did he say shutting down?
It's 1:15 for me. I'm in New York.
Oh, okay. I was like, it's only 12. Okay, I've been out having fun all day, so I didn't know. I'm sorry,
It's
sweetheart.
1:15 over here. Tomorrow's another day. I gotta. The expression "machaleben."
No.
It's Italian for make a living. I gotta make a living.
Italian.
Yeah, I gotta make machaleben.
Had fun today making a living. It was fun today in this truck. We had a good time. So anybody making a living and got to do stuff, long as you enjoy what you're doing, you get up tomorrow with hope and have fun. Everybody at your jobs, shoot, we get to have fun. So I hope y'all all have fun at your jobs because we are tomorrow. Let's go make money.
That's right, man. I have an active social life, and I got to pay for all these meals, all these beautiful women. I got to go make money. Pay for all my dates.
Oh, what? Oh, wait. No, he said paying for the dates. Well,
what? The women in New York, they expect the guys to pay for everything. It's crazy out there. Everywhere I go, the women expect me to pay.
Only the pimps do it.
Say again?
No, I don't think so. Don't say that.
That's what I gotta make a living. If I want to have a dating life, I gotta work.
With somebody that tells you have to pay for every stinking thing, I would run to the hills. I'm a woman. I would, when I go and I saw my man, I wanted him, right? I don't make him pay for stuff. Hey, you're the dude. No, I make sure.
What, you split the bill when you go out? You don't expect him to pay for everything?
No, because that's
You're a good woman. You're a good woman.
No, I don't. You have your own money. My grandmother told me and grandpa, a man is not your father. A man is not your dad. They're not. If you want money, come to us. I have a whole family.
Yeah.
I have
a lot of these women are older. Their parents are dead.
Texas women is more. A lot of them. I'm not gonna say every one of them, but they more. They share the bills and they believe in a lot of them.
I'm not gonna make nobody pay for shit.
I gotta move to Texas.
They grow up differently.
You know what I'm talking about in New York, right?
I'm in New York. I already know.
So they expect the guy to pay.
Yeah, of course.
You're clearly going on dates with the wrong women, Randy. That's your problem. You're not picking the right women, Randy.
Well, you gotta help me find some better women.
No to women. I get it. Go ahead, Randy. If you're dating women, that's not.
It is what it is. I'm gonna go machaleben.
New York is an expensive town, and anyone, they try to live like.
Let him go sleep. Go to sleep, Randy. Thank you for coming to the room.
Peace. Bye bye.
Bye.
I wouldn't be with nobody. What that make
he said that a person, the woman is expecting him to pay for every stinking thing. I've never grew up like that, and maybe I'm different. I just was told if you want a Birkin bag, you need to go buy it yourself. Stop asking dudes to buy stupid stuff. So I don't. So they can never hang it over my head saying, do you remember? No, because I have my own bank account. Do you remember when I put a roof over your head? No, because I've always had my own place. No. So those are things I never, ever let a man do, because I ain't trying to have a man hang anything over my head ever in life. When you have your own place and money and you can pay for your own food, I told the dude, you can pay for your plate. I'm going to eat probably more than what you are willing to pay. So I am going to go order more food with my money. See, that works. See, can't nobody ever tell you on a date, well, I want something from you because I bought this. No, my grandmother and mom taught me, baby, if you want something, go buy it yourself. And that's what I do. If I want a PlayStation or whatever it is, I go buy it myself. I just expect a man to help out. If you can pay the bills, that works. But I'm not going to have you buying stupid stuff. That's dumb. I don't have dudes buy stupid stuff. If I want stupid stuff, I buy it myself. And that's what makes the relationship that I have with him great, because he understands that I'm a little different than most women, and I don't ask for very much. I don't need Birkin bags and all these things to be happy. Gosh dog it, I'll wear straw hat and overalls. All I care about is as long as you a man and you cool to live with. And the only thing a man has ever asked me, hey man, can you give me my own bathroom? Cool, we'll make that better. Let's get elevators, let's find that, let's get your own closet, all that stuff, let's get a bigger place. Now that dude can be happy because he's got his whole doggone side of the house that he can decorate whatever dudes want to do. You have a whole man cave side of the house, and that makes dudes happy. And I get my side of the house. That is how I think things, I mean, not for everybody, but I think that's how things can be done. Dudes need their own bathroom, and that's all they ask for. They don't really ask for a lot in life, and they shouldn't, especially if they're living in a place like this. All I ask you to do is be yourself. That's pretty easy, right? Being yourself. And all I ever ask for a man to do is, I got all the food in here. You can cook it. You got $580 worth of food. There is something in here. You're not starving. So that's another thing. You're taken care of. Where are you?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, let me go play the rest of it.
He says DHS is not cooperating with his office on the fatal ICE shooting in Houston. How that's fueling calls for more transparency in ICE operations. That is next. Well, the fatal encounters at the hands of ICE officers this week and pause to traffic stops that lasted about 24 hours. The Homeland Security Secretary says ICE is just getting started.
Let me clarify, when I say turn down the temperature, when I turn down the temperature with you guys, we're turning up the heat on the streets. We're out there working harder than we ever have because we've empowered our law enforcement to do their job. What I'm trying to do is remove us from the headlines every single day. But everybody will be held accountable. I don't pick and choose which laws I'm going to enforce. I enforce our nation's laws. That means I'll enforce it with our own agency, and I'll enforce it with the criminals on the streets.
And one of those incidents happened in Houston, and the Harris County District Attorney's Office is conducting its own investigation into the shooting of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. He spoke to CNN's Aaron Burnett tonight, and he says the DHS is not collaborating with his investigators.
They're effectively a black box. We're not getting any communication back and forth from them. We're 11 days out from this tragedy, and we still don't even have the name of the person that shot Mr. Salgado. We don't have a single name of any of the agents that were involved in this pursuit, in this mistaken takedown of the vehicle. These are critical pieces that every day that goes by that someone hasn't talked to the person that discharged the shot and the other agents, we're losing evidence.
We have seen the same thing happen in other cases where cities are asking for something. Minneapolis in particular, they are not getting cooperation with DHS. You know, DHS and the Trump administration has complained about sanctuary cities not cooperating with them. And so you have the situation here. What do you make of this particular situation in Houston?
Well, whenever you have an incident like this that happens, you should always have state and local law enforcement coordinating with federal law enforcement. And whether it is who takes the lead on an investigation, you don't want to step on each other's toes. There is some sort of agreement about who goes first, who goes second, etc. The problem with this is that in instances like we saw in Minneapolis and now what we're seeing in Harris County is that the locals are having to take the lead on the investigation because the federal government will not investigate the ICE officers in both of these instances and in Maine who conducted shootings of, in Minneapolis, Americans, and in these two other places, people who were not supposed to be targeted in the first place. And there is reporting that they have admitted that those people were not their targets. And so it makes it's very difficult for state and local law enforcement. They don't have any other resources. They have to conduct the investigations on themselves, not even having the name of the ICE officer. They were trying to also deport, and especially in the case in Houston, they were trying to deport the witnesses and people who were around that would be critical evidence to figuring out exactly what happened, since they weren't necessarily wearing body cameras. And that is law enforcement malpractice. If regardless of what happens, you don't try to deport or ask people to self-deport when they have critical evidence about a crime or about a shooting that has happened in the United States. And so to me, this sounds like the federal law enforcement is playing politics with shootings and with tragedies across our country, and especially putting out information before they know anything and anything like that. Ideally, what would happen is Congress would conduct oversight on the FBI and ICE and to bring the ICE officers to the Hill, whether it is in a closed-door matter or whether it is public testimony. But you also have Republicans who don't have a spine and won't do that. And so I think one thing that will happen is these states will move forward with their investigations. Hopefully, they can get more information to conduct prosecutions. But at the same time, Democrats, when they take hold of Congress, will need to conduct some of this oversight.
Getting rid of ICE. So it's hard, I think.
That is not the universal. That is not the
The
universal.
loudest voices within the party are saying they want to abolish
I will say that is not the universal.
There are some very loud voices in the party saying that, but it is not the majority of the party saying that they want to completely get rid of ICE. I do want to ask you about the trust in ICE, the trust from the public when they see some of these disparate stories that they're hearing from some of these cases and hearing from local authorities who are like, we always do an investigation, whether it is our police officers or anyone that is in our jurisdiction, we do an investigation if someone is shot and killed. It is the absolute norm for police to do that in any aspect, all the way up to the federal government, all the way down to your local sheriff's department. Are you worried about trust being undermined here?
No, I think this is a result of the federal government not believing that local officials are going to be able to look at this honestly. You've had lots of folks who have said that we should just be throwing ICE agents in jail simply for being ICE agents.
Local police have not said that. The local DAs,
local politicians who end up appointing the police chiefs in local agencies have said that. That's a problem.
Why would the federal government take that
out? But instead of calling that out, what we're hearing again, the loudest voices from the Democratic Party. Your point, I think, is valid. Is the majority of the Democrats holding this position? No, but they're awfully silent when it comes to the people in their party and the base who are demanding that we throw all these people in jail and call them murderers before you know any information, while being completely silent on the fact that in these two cases, the people who were shot were allegedly fleeing, and in the case in Texas, fleeing 2 times.
There is very clear federal policy that was put in place when I was at the Justice Department that you do not use force whenever someone is fleeing, unless someone's life in danger. But this is why you need an investigation. And this is the problem. Maybe there are people who don't trust local officials to do the investigation. Ideally, the FBI and the Justice Department would open an investigation right away, the way they always do when there is a police-involved shooting, and especially when there is a federal police-involved shooting. And they should be taking the lead, but they won't. And that is why local law enforcement are put in the position where they're having to conduct an investigation because the federal government won't do their job. Why?
And all of that is extreme.
Last note here. No.
Yeah, just all of that is extremely valid, and it's not something you can just simply dismiss. But when it comes to the question of trust, the Trump administration has a lot of leeway from the public based on the Biden administration's record. The public still remembers and resents and is reminded of consistently with these DSA types. We had a poll of CBS May, well after the confrontations in Minneapolis. Who do you trust more today on immigration? Democrats 34%, Trump and Republicans 38%.
All right, next, the president is ripping the neighbors to the north for the smoke from the wildfires that millions of Americans.
Any comments, y'all, on what happened in Houston and what they're talking about with the DHS not cooperating with the DA or with Houston CA on with this guy that was killed? I think. Okay.
Have been choking on. He says he will add it to their tariff bill. We'll debate. Tonight as dangerous wildfire smoke blankets major U.S. cities, and more than 100 million people in 18 states and D.C. are under air quality alerts. Donald Trump is blaming Canada for the hazy skies and unhealthy air. On Truth Social, Trump said he would hold Canada responsible and call Prime Minister Mark Carney to find out what they're going to do about it. Trump argued Canada's wildfire response is willful negligence, and the cost of pollution should be added to the tariffs that Canada is already paying. Noah, to you first. Look, California has had, I've covered them, and we have seen the devastation. Some huge wildfires that has poured smoke potentially into Mexico and even into Canada as well, along with other states like Oregon and Colorado. So I'm curious how this would even happen. Do you agree with this idea?
Okay, listen, I'm not a forestry expert, so a lot of this is speculative. However, there is a management story to be told here. It's a much bigger story as far as I understand it in California, where controlled burns and machine management actually is something that can mitigate these fires, and it's something that is negligent, that the state is negligent in doing. The boreal is a little different. It's vast. It is wilderness. It is difficult to manage like that. And a lot of these fires are bringing out of control, which is not to say that there is no federal response, Canadian federal response, as well as a provincial federal response in the form of getting more water bombers, for example, which Ontario just did a couple of months ago, suggesting that they weren't 100%, or even last month, 100% prepared for this. Nevertheless, it's tough to blame the entire Canadian civic compact for the boreal lighting up on fire every 10 years or so, because that's kind of what it's supposed to do.
It's the correct diagnosis, but it's the wrong prescription, right? The president's right to call out Canadian officials. They have not taken this seriously enough. We are suffering as a direct result of it. I think there are a lot of Americans who are really upset about it, and we should be calling out the folks who are responsible with at least the goal of shining a spotlight on what the actual issue is. And it does appear to be about a lack of forest management, but also they don't have across Canada one central agency like we have FEMA to go ahead and at least help in cases like this. So we're not going to collect anything off of it. It's kind of a stunt from the president, but I appreciate why he's doing it.
Look, there's frustration, but I want to talk a little bit about California, just having lived there and covered these fires, because some of those fires started in federal lands. That is not the state's issue. That is the feds' issue. And they didn't, if you follow that argument, you could say, well, why didn't they take care of it? This is something that's happened over and over and over again. They're getting worse. And when you look at what the Trump administration has done, they have gutted agencies studying things like wildfire risks, groups that analyze health effects of wildfire smoke, and the U.S. Forest Service has lost quite a bit of money, which oversees millions of acres of forest, which sometimes catch fire. So I guess, how do you explain that when you're attacking Canada, but we've got our own problems here, and the Trump administration has not helped deal with that problem?
Washington State gutted millions of dollars for forest management just last year, and they focused instead on talking about climate change, which I think is real. Yes, but that's not the reason why we're having these kinds of issues when they're man-made fires that aren't actually cleared out. So I think both sides have done some cuts, and I think sometimes some of the cuts is just because we don't need to continuously study the exact same thing over, where we actually know some of the answers and we can reallocate some of those funding.
California is forestry management. I mean, it would be an impossible stretch to blame California's very regular fires on the federal government. I mean, you talk to any Californian and they won't tell you that. We've been having debates over this at the county level in Los Angeles, for example, or elsewhere outside the state for the better part of 2 decades. And there is a mismanagement part of that equation. It's been acknowledged even by Gavin Newsom that we need to do a better job, be more proactively doing prescribed burns and machine management. To suggest that the whole problem is on the federal government.
I wasn't suggesting it was on the federal government. The federal government has had some issues there as well, and you do not hear him blaming his own government for it. You only hear him blaming the states, and in this case, Canada.
I don't think I've ever heard Donald Trump blame his federal government for anything.
No, well, there's that. One of the challenges we're seeing, though, right? This is why I asked about climate change and the acceptance, right? And how quickly it's like, well, people accept the science, but they'll pivot to all these other challenges that have not adapted for the realities of extreme weather and climate change, right? This is not just an American problem or a Canadian problem, as we know, because the wildfires that are up there are now giving us smog down here. In the United States is, by all facts and data, and its own admission over multiple administrations, Democratic, Republican, the world's largest greenhouse gas emitter, competing with China for that. And so there is a sense of what we are now part of as a global community that Donald Trump has actively rejected when it comes to the management of natural resources and the challenges of extreme weather.
We are going to have to deal with that. I mean, ultimately, we're all going to have to deal with this and maybe solutions.
Part of believing in climate change is engineering our way out of the problem, and it's not just limiting greenhouse gas emissions. It is building infrastructure that can withstand a change in climate and the nature of that, which means prescribed burns, which means machine management, which means Russia's a part of that. Right.
All right, stunts and tantrums is not going to solve this. That's what's happening here.
Solutions can be made, but both Democrats and Republicans have to do it together. All right, next, we will read some of your feedback, plus we'll find out what Chef Ginevra has been cooking for us. Ginevra?
Feedback sucks. Any comments, y'all, on the climate change?
That was kind of a weird segment because they were kind of all over the place, but Trump is blaming Canada for the fires, and I think I read a headline saying he wanted to increase the tariffs on Canada as a result again. I'm not sure they mentioned that.
Oh, they did. It was free in the beginning. But the thing that's crazy about this is some of that shit is us too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Some of that shit was our land, so. Are we gonna pay for? I don't know. It's just fucking wild. And then she brought up the California fires. So are we gonna do the same for Mexico and Canada?
Yeah.
It's weird. Any other comments, y'all? All right, y'all. It's free. Y'all got any topics y'all want to talk about? Give me a second.
Change segment was pretty interesting. I do think that a lot of Republicans do not believe in climate change at all. I was listening to a show, and the person flat out said that it was a joke and that it was made up. No, that's not true. Yes, Texas is hot, but even here, people have talked about extreme heat and across parts of this country, people have died. New York, places like that. Some places may not, have, air conditioning in every place. And, people, may have to prepare, and they have, and try, and all of that stuff. We can't sit here anymore and just say, well, these things in extreme weather is not happening when you do see that. And you do see it across the planet, not only here, but things have gotten worse. And the Republicans right now, they really don't care. They honestly do not care until it starts affecting their lives, their businesses. I think I saw something where 32,000 pigs burned to death in Canada. Something like that. I don't know if you guys saw that, but, livestock and other, it's really, really bad. And that's something that, you can't get back. And some people have even lost their lives. So then Donald Trump doesn't care. He doesn't care about life or any of that. Doesn't seem like it. He only cares about his life, not anybody else's. And if you're a Republican, what the hell? Why do you have people on the airways saying that these problems or this stuff doesn't exist? Republicans, y'all in office, y'all better start doing some fixing when you find yourselves up out of office. Okay, come November, keep telling people that things don't exist. Keep telling people that your bank account is okay. No, people are tired of hearing this. This is another thing that Republicans will be voted out for, because they're the ones saying they hate climate change, and they're the ones making rules to drill, baby, drill, and all this other stuff, and not looking for alternative energy on purpose, not because for other reasons. They just don't want to, and we don't want people in office who don't want to, who essentially do not want to do the right things for everybody. That sucks.
So I do want to share something at the top. DTN is having a live on TikTok, and they're talking about wells. Y'all want to go over there? Repeat that again. Now he has like 300 people in the room. And it's some weird shit. Like somebody's talking about they want.
I don't know. Does it sound like he's on a spaceship, or is it just me?
He sounds like he's far away from his mic.
Oh, you're trying. Yeah, I'm over here trying to put it together and still can't get it. Nah, he's doing this on purpose.
Repeat that again. You cut out.
This is well, first of all, hold on. You're on my panel. I invited you up here. This is the.
Hold on real quick. Let me see.
This is the big crowd.
Hold on real quick.
Jonathan Bean runs To Make the News. You can point to me moderator for right now. You're on To Make the News, and you're not up here debating. What are you doing then? Don't come up here and make my panel boring. I have numbers I have to hit.
Yeah.
So you wanted a race war, and then you sound like you pulled away from your microphone because nobody can hear you and piece together what you were saying. So why do you want a race war, and on what side of the race war do you want to be?
We can't really hear you over it. What side of the race clear? We can't hear you.
Yeah, you want to be on the same side, all right? Okay. All right. That's unstimulating. About the case, I was just speaking in general about that. That was just I was speaking out loud. Thinking out loud when I said that. I know, because you actually don't even want to, you don't want to answer the questions. You want to answer what you want to answer and reply when you want to reply. But when somebody actually asks you an intellectual question to get deep down and dirty, you don't want to answer it. So what is it? The only question that was asked to me is, why do I want to have a race war? What do I think is the result? That's the only question that was asked to me since I've been on this panel. And I said, when I thought about that already, I said I want a race war because I feel like they get the hate that these people have. Man, get the fuck off my panel. You fucking boring me. Coming up here saying that you want a race war and that it would solve all the problems. And then when we ask you very specific questions and you don't fucking answer them, get the fuck off my panel. George Paul, welcome to the stage.
Hello.
Mississippi. Play a little bit for y'all, so y'all can hear it.
I didn't hear what you said, really. I was moving my phone. Sorry. Can you repeat what you said?
Yeah, actually, come over there.
Well, we're talking about the Nolan wells.
Or up top.
We've been talking about that. What are your opinions?
Well, there are no suspect. I don't know if this is hypothetical or well, it basically has to be because the state has no suspects. And as far as I can tell, from the certain things that they've done, that they still are on the cause of unalignment as accidental drowning. So there are no suspects. And it's going to a grand jury for an investigative aspect, not really pushing for an indictment of someone.
question for you, Joe. What's your opinion of the legal team that they have, Ben Crump, what he's posting, what he's saying, that they have Ben Crump, what he's posting, what he's saying, how they're moving? What's your thoughts on that?
Ben Crump to me is basically part of an information team. I mean, he plays no legal part in it, especially as far as what occurred. Like when someone has a publicist, he's basically a publicist for this family.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think he's trying to rage bait the community?
Well, I think that
Okay. Had to come out of the room because, but yeah, he is having a room. If y'all want to go over to DTN on TikTok, if y'all want to listen to it, you can get on stage, make comments. That shit is wild. Y'all will hear some shit. I've been doing that room for a couple days now. Let me tell you something. There's some white folks that are mad. And there are some mad black folks too. I done heard. Boy, like, y'all heard this dude talk about he want a race war. I have heard motherfuckers call us monkeys. Black folks is the reason why black folks go into prison. That shit is wild. Go ahead, Ed.
I think Michael's about to say something. Go ahead, brother.
What? Black folks?
no, you good. I was just gonna say that sounds about typical though. That's unsurprising. I was gonna say that I don't have TikTok, so if you want to like stream it, I'm not gonna re-download TikTok or whatever. My whole thing. Just I'm being goofy because I know my data's everywhere else, but it's like I'm just sort of taking a stance on not downloading. So I'm gonna miss it. But if you want to stream it, you know what I'm saying, I'll definitely listen to it here.
Yeah, man.
What is the problem with black folks going to prison? Why do they go to prison?
Oh Lord. The same reason why your people go to prison.
What's per capita, Patty?
What is what?
What is it? What's per capita?
Go fucking read up online. Go do some research.
You tell me.
You asked me what per capita.
Liberals like you seem to not know that.
No, I'm not a liberal, you motherfucker.
You are liberal, motherfucker.
Nah, not at all.
He's a Trump supporter. What's wrong with you, Herman?
Do you think I'm a Trump supporter?
No, I support Trump, so I'll deport your motherfucking ass.
Everything is there for Hammer.
I throw you in your magic carpet and send you back, motherfucker.
Can you shut up?
He's a Trump supporter. He's not a liberal.
Can you shut up?
Oh, say it, motherfucker. Say it, motherfucker.
So you would have the reason. So you would have the reason to like ban me or something.
Come on, bitch, say it. Grab your pussy and say it. It was on the tip of your tongue, pussy. Say it.
I would say that into your face.
You get smacked into you get bitch smacked into your face.
Shut up.
You get bitch smacked into your face.
Shut up.
You get bitch smacked into your face.
Can that monkey shut up?
Shut the fuck up, you motherfucker. Hey, go fuck your goat. Go fuck your goat. Go fuck your goat. Go fuck your goat.
Go fuck your goat. You have also low impulse control, don't you?
But why are you here then? Since he's slow and I'm slow and everybody in the room is slow.
I'm here because you got a problem with the guy who says that black people goes to prison and other things.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking camel jockey motherfucker.
It's not true. It's ridiculous for you to hear that.
No, black people go to prison just like white people do.
Just like white people do. That's why I asked you about the per capita. Are they going to prison just like white people do? Really?
Yeah, we all gotta.
White people are 70% of the overall population, and blacks are 13%, and yet.
Yeah,
and yet, black people commit disproportionately much more crimes.
Tell us why your mother was a whore.
Tell us why your mother was a whore, you yourself.
Tell us.
Tell us. At least my mother has her ethnic roots. You doesn't. You're fucking bastard. Yes, you're mixed race bastards there.
No, I'm not mixed race.
About whores, yes.
I'm not mixed race.
Yes. I'm talking to you like an American.
Look like I hit a nerve there, huh? Your mother's a whore, huh? You hit a nerve there.
Is that all you can say?
You don't know who's your father, yeah.
Is that all you can say?
You don't know who your father was, huh?
Is that all you can say? Is that what you say here?
I'm reporting you.
You're reporting me?
Yeah.
Damn, Johnny, you don't even know who your daddy is. Mommy was a whore, huh?
So he called her mother
son of a whore. You son of a whore. Have a good night, you son of a whore.
Don't kick him out.
Damn, man.
We're gonna report right now.
Everybody in the neighborhood ran through you. Everybody in the fucking neighborhood ran through your mother, huh?
Get out of here.
Everybody in the terrorist camp fucked your mom, huh? So you mad?
Boom, you suck. Because you're going to treat people like that. You need to treat people how they want to be treated. Because I guarantee you wouldn't be saying it to people to their face, especially in states like where you got
They're going.
Oh, okay. I'm finna say, because I just was like, I was over here putting stuff away, and I'm like, what kind of crap am I listening to? With me and my dude is standing here like, what was that? What was that? Like, my dude sitting there with his hands balled up like, no, man, that's not cool to tell people that they're this and that and the other, like he's better than somebody else because of his ethnicity or whatever he was talking about. Man, that dude better drive what he got. His ass probably don't even have a damn pickup truck. Who knows what the hell he driving over there? He don't sound like he an American, so he can't sit up here and talk about other people. And sure wouldn't want people talking about his raggedy hand looking ass. That's crazy to sit there and talk about somebody. They wouldn't want somebody talking about how he lived. Ask him how he lived. I bet you he'll shut up. Man, these people are dumbasses. I'm sick of it. People coming on this app degrading people because of the color of their skin. When you degrade somebody for something they can't do something about, I can't change my skin color. That's embarrassing.
Yes, we can do bleach. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that, Ashton. You're beautiful the way you
are.
are.
I'm never gonna change my skin color. They got me messed up. I told a white dude, F you. If you don't want me to do business with you, I don't give a damn. 1-800, don't give a damn. Take your money to places, even in states where it's racist. Believe me, there are plenty of other people that would like your $2,000. 1-800,
I don't give a damn.
I don't care what people think. I told the dude, talk to me crazy in real life. I'm not trying to hear that stuff. I told the dude in the grocery store one time, you're not gonna talk to me crazy.
Why everybody be trying you every day?
Yo,
You gotta
for real, yo.
It's not every day or nothing like that. I'm saying in the past.
It's like she walked through Vietnam every day, yo.
Well, no, it's not every day. I said in the past.
Every day I be saying Ashton is such a sweet girl. But
somebody mess with me, I'm
getting a feeling, Ashton, you outside being a bully.
Ashton, the Broad Street bully, yo.
Ashton beating boys up in the street. Ashton getting acted up.
I'm just, I don't want, at the end of the day, people messing with me. And when I was, younger and stuff and skinnier, people would pick on me and just mess with me for no reason.
So now you're bullying people outside?
No, I'm not bullying nobody. Like, I don't walk around bullying people. I live in a very nice place. People don't bully me here where I live. This place is nice, but I'm not going to let people outside of this place talk to me crazy. I told the dude, if you don't want to do business with me because of the color of my skin, goodbye. I don't give a damn about people. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy. I live my life. And if people don't
with you,
like it, that's too bad. No, I know you are. No, I know you are.
And I don't like that feeling.
That's why I like talking to you. You know, because you know what's going on. I'm not a bully out here doing nothing to people, but my folks said you ain't finna let nobody hit you. Like I told a woman, no, don't talk about punching me. Because I'll pick your ass up and chunk you over the car you drove here in. Leave me the fuck alone.
See, Ashley, you up here talking about chunking a woman over a car. What's going on?
You can't, cause that lady ain't finna talk to me, Grace. I told that lady that. Simple.
Like you go to church, you know what you need to start telling people? I'm going to pray for you and just walk away.
Because maybe I should just say that, but no, I told that woman to leave me alone because I would chunk her over the vehicle she drove. That's up and chunk you right over not the hood, the roof of your fucking car. Go, ass gonna be mine.
Ashton. That's what I'm talking about, girl.
Man, my grandpa and dad and people taught me you don't let people just hit you. People can say whatever they want. I don't care. Don't care. Just keep walking. But when you talk about you finna punch me or whatever, no, I got them. No, I'm gonna see you on aisle late. I'm outside in the parking lot with 2 cans. No, now you wanna fight me? Cool. Why you got that in your hands? Find out and talk about hitting me. That woman pushed her man out there. He was like, I didn't die. Yeah, no, you need to fight. Don't push him out there. And she was behind him. Like, no. He was like, I'm not fighting that right there. You talk to them and that dude was cool. Dudes are generally cool, but that woman some dudes are assholes too. But, you know, Patty, I'm a cool person, but I'm not going to let no woman talk about beating me up. You got me messed up.
Now on, Ashley, just try it one time. Try it a couple times. I'm going to pray for you and walk away.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. That'll work. Yeah, and then people can say whatever they want, and that's fine. And my grandmother and folks always said that. But you always have the right to defend yourself, especially in Texas. The state tells you have the right to use deadly force where it is applied. If somebody is using deadly force, no, seriously, if somebody is using deadly force against you, you meet that threat. That's what I was taught at the age of 12 years old in the state of Texas. That is a fact. I'm not going to let nobody harm me or talk about hurting me. Get that shit. I'll put that to an end. I ain't going to let nobody hurt me. My dude I live with is in the Navy.
Emergency report. I'm not trying to break a nail. I ain't trying to mess my hair up. Not damn sure I ain't trying to get no cuts and bruises. So I will call the police on you. Do a non-emergency report. If you talk too goddamn much and you still in the area, you might get arrested.
Whatever it is that you got to do, but before the police get there, you have the right to defend yourself. Like the state of Texas told me, if somebody, like I told this woman when we was on the highway and a dude got out of his car, out of the damn car, and tried to come around, and her door was locked, but for some reason she didn't, whatever. I just said, man, at the end of the day, I said, miss, this is how you deal with this. I need you to watch the light. As soon as that light turned green, I hit that dude with the door. Bam, boom. And she took off. I said, now hit the gas. Now hit between these two trucks. He was gone.
Touch me like you do. Touch me like you do.
Oh.
Keep waiting for fading out on the edge of paradise. Every inch of your skin is the only gray I've got to find. Only you can set my heart on fire. On fire. Yeah, forget you set the pace. 'Cause I'm nothing.
Sorry, y'all. I was watching a video. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, babe. Didn't know I was off of mute. I just came back to the clubhouse. Sorry.
Wow. Ain't too bad, man. That's a fact, man. I'm a chill person. for real in real life. I don't be out here messing with people. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Malak.
TikTok is crazy, Patty. That's a whole different thing than Clubhouse. Yeah, no, I've listened to stuff on that, and it's like there's no restrictions. People say anything on TikTok. Maybe it's just a different platform or something. Because there are certain things you can't even say on this platform or type, because it'll give me like a bar if you type certain things or whatever. But yeah, on TikTok, it's like wide open, and that's crazy.
Yeah, but he has been having some really good rooms, y'all. I know some of y'all don't like JB, but yeah. He has some really good rooms over there on TikTok. He's moved from Chatter to TikTok. And I've been supporting him recently, so.
How is Chatter doing? How's that doing? I know people was talking about it and getting on it, but how is that doing?
I go every now and then. I don't go as much anymore. But
it has grown right by now, because I know when they were releasing it, they wanted people to get on it and stuff and that kind of stuff. Has it grown since its release? That's what I was meaning. Has the audience and all that stuff?
I don't think so. So the problem with these audio apps, if you didn't come out during COVID and build a following, it's kind of hard. And even with Clubhouse, they've lost a lot of people as well. But I will say this. Yeah, I be going on TikTok. I even be on live, because sometimes when he has to go away from his seat, I have to turn my camera on. I've turned my camera on with a t-shirt and my hair nappy up in a big ass messy bun and my glasses. So I was like, I don't care. Miki's on there as well. She's also a host on there. Sometimes me and her be like bugging out on TikTok, but you gotta be careful with the words you say.
Flag you, what will it do? You will get a bar if you say the right. Because I don't want Clubhouse, they won't even let you write.
Like, you can't say rape, you gotta say grape. You can't say murder, you gotta say unalived.
My God. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, people monkeys though and all that other stuff though. So that.
Oh, they can call you a monkey. Nothing really happens unless somebody reports them for harassment, which he has a big banner. This is not a safe space. When you go over there, right now, the guy that's hosting the room is a cool guy. He's a good friend, and he's trying to help get. He's working with Telerico, so he was going to try to see if he can get Telerico on that. So we're just trying to figure out if he can or not. So yeah.
Wow, now that would be an interesting. Conversation to haggle with and have. I wouldn't have a problem with that. You know, I would like to hear that stuff, but people being called monkeys and whatever, I don't want to hear that kind of stuff because that's inappropriate. You know, who wants to be on
Clubhouse? You know how much inappropriate you done heard on here.
I know, but I know that too. You know, and I've said stuff about that too. Shoot, I told somebody, don't call me no monkey. They say it to my face.
Hey, Devil, what's going on? And why do you call yourself Devil?
Call yourself the what?
If he calls himself a devil.
Lying. The devil. Why would somebody want to be called the devil? The devil is not anything that's happy. Never. The devil ain't walking around with a smile on his face. The devil is here to kill, steal, and destroy. And I wouldn't want to be associated with something that talks about it wants to kill somebody. It wants to take life from people. That is what the devil does. The devil
Y'all keep this room, y'all. Sandra, Michael, Pastor. Hello?
I mean, it's up to you. I think we talked about everything that's going on tonight.
Yeah.
But everything is the devil is somebody get with it.
Place to go, so you know, seriously,
I mean, if y'all want to keep the room, because I'm about to leave.
Oh.
Y'all can keep the room, Michael. Come on, man.
You can shut it down. Yeah, as they say, you know to shut it down.
You don't want to keep it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we kind of exhausted all the topics, so I mean.
All right, y'all. Thanks for coming through and figure out.
Hey, thanks for opening that.
Yeah, Lisa should be opening tomorrow. If she don't, we'll open again. Oh, God. And you know, I'm not really a late person, even though I be in Lisa's room late. Most of the time, I'm asleep half the time. Or if I'm outside with my sister girls. But even if you see my PPR in there, sometimes I fell asleep. So I can't stay up too late, y'all. I be having a hard time. I'm having a hard time now. And they found it. They see me on Clubhouse and they was like, come over here. And it helped because I think JB had to take care of something. So he is asking if I can come over and help. Then we'll go over there just to listen so I can use it as white noise to sleep. But if y'all want to go over there and listen, click the top, TikTok. I got it at the top, Jonathan Being Live. It is DTN. They're talking about Nolan Wells. You're going to hear some really disrespectful shit. They're going to be calling you monkeys. Then you're going to hear black folks calling them cracker. They are out of control. But it's pretty good. And if Miki comes on, Miki likes to, because she's a late night owl. She likes to be in there late at night. Most of the time, this late, it's Miki and Diane. And Diane's a pretty good mind. Malak, do you want to keep the room? Because I know you like to, you're pretty... Unless Malak came up here to sleep. Malak! She sleep. All right, y'all.
Everybody's sleeping, man. Patty.
Right.
Why is everybody sleeping?
You wanted to keep the room after? Ain't nobody gonna be here.
That's why I'm like, man, I'm a night person too, but I get my business done during the daytime. But I like the nighttime because it's fun. But it's like everybody has to get up early or do something else. Most people don't like staying up late. I don't know why that is. And that's fine because people got to work. But tomorrow is Monday. I hope all you folks have a wonderful day. God hold you and keep you and be blessed. Get out there and pick a job you like and get out here and have fun. Remember, if you like your job, your life is good. Amen.
Amen.
All right, thanks, man. Thanks for having me up.
See you tomorrow, Pastor. See you, Sandra.
All right.
All right, bye, y'all. Don't forget, 420 Lounge tomorrow around 7 o'clock. Bye. Okay.